Support for the show, FYF Sports, is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Get 20% off and free shipping with coupon code FYFCREW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FYFCREW. Your balls will thank you.
Talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. All know, shop don't close, working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is.
FYF Sports, man. It's Lamont. We back. Another podcast episode, man. Another topic to talk about. A lot of people out there just being disingenuous about these sports takes. Caden Baseball Footage says, "Damn you at Ticket TV." No, I told you, I don't swing at low hanging fruit. And the intro that you heard is actually a year old. So you just a year late, you know. But it's still a classic, you know. It's still a classic. But we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about Steph Curry. That's going to be one of the main topics of the night. We got Steph Curry on the docket. We got the LeBron James haters still lurking in these, you know, lurking around. The LeBron James haters have now proven to me that they are like cockroaches. They won't die. They won't go away. They won't stop talking about them. Even though this playoffs has been great, this playoff run has been great without LeBron James. Nobody wants to give these players they credit for being great in their own right. Nobody wants to give these players credit for stepping up. We've seen clutch moments. We've seen these players without LeBron James carry. We've seen them carry the NBA playoffs. Ratings are up. Storylines are up. Competition is up. But yet, LeBron James haters don't want to really talk real basketball. They don't want to see. This is how you know when LeBron James retires, they're still going to be talking about him. They're still going to be blaming him for things. They're going to still say he hit what he's done in the league. Whether you say it's positive or negative, they're going to claim it has residual impacts on the game. This is a small sample size that the LeBron James haters just can't get enough of him. And it's more so starting to look like it's an infatuation with LeBron rather than real basketball takes. Uh-oh, Anton says, where my money? What money? If you're talking about our Young Thug bet, his bond hearing was actually delayed. Gunna's bond was denied. So we don't know about Young Thug yet. The judge rescheduled his bond hearing. I guess there were some issues that they needed to hash out behind the scenes. But I'm gonna open up the panel, man. We're gonna talk about it. And then lastly, and I'm gonna show y'all the clip. I told y'all, just branching off the LeBron James hater train. People are literally making up titles just to attach LeBron to somehow, some way, right? If something goes negative, they're saying, oh, LeBron's impact did this, or they try to find some weird connection back to LeBron. One of those people is actually Karceno4life. And what this man did, you know, I think it might have been after game 2. This was an older video I made. It's a couple of days old. But after the Dallas Mavericks lost to the Golden State Warriors, this is a series that's probably been one of the easiest series to predict in NBA history. And I'm gonna tell you how fake this is. Again, he's an avid LeBron James hater, and I'm gonna break down how illogical the actions were. Again, he came on the stream and did something extremely fake, a fake reaction to the Mavs losing. But I want y'all to look at it like this. And Luka Doncic is just a general example of how you can do this, right? The Golden State Warriors, obviously anybody with any type of basketball common sense knows that the Golden State Warriors clearly outmatched this Dallas Maverick team. Player for player, coaching for coaching. I mean, just across the board, on top of the fact that they have home court advantage. Nobody in their right mind believed that Dallas had a chance. Most people believed that they could get one game if they didn't get swept. Right? But see, this is how tainted LeBron James haters thinking is. If the Warriors actually beat this Dallas team, this LeBron James haters, this is what they'll say. This was a watered down playoff. All the teams was injured. They beat Luka Doncic, and Luka Doncic ain't got no other stars. But then on the flip side of that, if Luka Doncic upsets the Golden State Warriors, then they're going to run and say, Steph Curry choked. He choked. There's really no winning. With people with this weird LeBron James hate logic, there is no winning with them. They always find a way, they always try to find a way to target the negative in a play. They find the negative outcome in any particular situation. It's not that Steph Curry's having a great playoff run, which he is, right? If you look at his numbers statistically, he's having a great playoff run. They're not going to talk about that. When the Warriors get to the finals, because they will get to the finals, people are going to say, oh, they beat a Dallas Maverick team. They're going to say, oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. was injured. Oh, they're going to say all they had was Luka. There's really no out. Prince Legend says, oh, hold on. And then we got Jomo in here. Jomo, I saw your comment when the stream was about to start. I saw your comment. You said this is a shot. This video is a shot at Bang. I don't think people like you, Joe Mo, actually know me. If I want to take a shot at somebody, I'm gonna be like, just like I put Karceno's name in the title. If this was a shot at Bang, then I would have put Bang's name in the title. I don't do the sneak distance stuff. There's nothing. If I want to take a basketball shot at you because this is just basketball talk, I'm gonna call you out. Now, you want to go the narrative of bringing other people's channels up in here, trying to stir up fake beefs. You need to be the first one hitting the link, pulling up, right, to defend whatever talking point you have. So then we can see if you coming in here with fake narratives. We're going to see if you one of them cockroaches that literally run around the community with these oddball takes, especially on LeBron James. So main topic of the day is Steph Curry. The one thing I'm starting to see with these takes, no, Karceno won't pull up. I told you, this is a real basketball channel. He won't pull up in real conversations. If you heard his breakdown of how the Mavericks lost to I think it was game 2. If you heard his breakdown of how upset he was, literally almost to tears, his fake reaction to the Mavs losing to the Warriors was so stupid sounding. It was one of the worst basketball takes I've ever heard. I think he was talking about, they should have kept, or they should have kept driving to the basket. And it's just like people say stuff without taking into consideration the fact that the Warriors actually are going to come out and make adjustments. I think it was that game 3. I think it was one of those games. It was whatever game it was where the Warriors made a great comeback. They were down 14. And I even made a bet with King Cali, who's mysteriously disappeared in the chat ever since we made that bet. I made the bet at halftime with King Cali, $50. I said the Warriors will come back and win this game. All of a sudden, King Cali goes up missing. Percy Bradford is correct. He says they will also blame Kidd if they lose to the Warriors. Facts. And it's just like, if Kidd loses to the Warriors, a team that's been in the finals 6 of the last 8 years, and all Jason Kidd has is one star player in Luka Doncic and really a whole bunch of other players that before this playoffs even started, nobody knew a Jalen Brunson. Half y'all can't even tell me what college he went to. None of y'all know Dorian Finney-Smith or what college he went to. None of y'all know Maxi Kleber or what country he's from. None of y'all know any of these guys. They got Frank Ntilikina, a discard from the Knicks in the rotation over there. They got Davis Bertans, a guy that's struggling to get off the bench in Washington. They're using him in a playoff rotation. So again, the people that blame Jason Kidd, I promise you guys, when the Mavs lose this series, I want you guys to go look at the channels that are going to be blaming Jason Kidd. And I'm almost 1,000% positive all of those channels will be consistently LeBron James haters. From Ticket, from Karceno especially, right? He might not now because he's watching this video, so he might try to do the opposite. All right? All the people that are avid LeBron James haters generally have horrible talking points and horrible takes. And that be one of the worst takes they can make. That's what they're going to go to. See, you can... Easy ways to spot people that are LeBron James haters. They'll say stupid stuff like this. This is what they'll say. They'll come out and say, the refs were cheating. The Warriors shot more free throws than Dallas. And I'm saying to y'all, are y'all stupid or something? Because the last time I checked, free throws aren't equal opportunity. It's not the refs' jobs to dish out and hand out free throws equally to both teams. Generally, there's one team that's playing better, which is more aggressive than the other, and they generally get more free throws. Free throws ain't equal opportunity. Just because they call a foul here don't mean they need to match it and come back on the other side and call the same foul. Just because one team is playing good defense and hands off don't mean the other team is playing good defense and hands off. Bad takes consistently stemming from the cockroaches, the LeBron James haters. Prince Legend says Karceno hates LeBron. LeBron hate is contagious because look, y'all, it's not that people hate LeBron. I'm starting to believe now they just don't know anything about basketball. And I think that the hate train, the joining the hate train is more so a trendy thing to do with regards to the channels that you watch. That's all it is. It's just a trendy thing to do. All the people that hate LeBron struggle to talk real basketball, right? When you watch Karceno's videos and he's trying his best. I'm talking about he tries his best to do some NBA film studies, right? He'll put his, take his phone, he'll put it on the TV screen. I mean, I don't know how the man has not learned how to use OBS yet. Either way, he'll record his TV screen with his phone and he'll stop the video and start it. And he'll say, man, he was supposed to come off the screen here. And he's just looking at it like, man, I honestly don't believe you really know a thing about basketball. I'm starting to believe that he's just talking about basketball because it kind of sounds like a cool thing to do. I don't think he really understands the game, understands offenses and defenses. He's really just a casual putting up a really big fake front. And the number one thing that exposes it is the hate for LeBron. That's what it is. I'm about to drop the link, but we got to talk about men like Steph Curry because people, especially the LeBron James haters, right, are going to find ways to discredit players of this era to a certain degree. What they're going to do is they're going to put up these astronomically high tiers as to what players need to do to get into the top 10, right? When like I seen somebody said, oh, you can't be top 5 unless you're great on both sides of the ball. Well, I saw Magic Johnson in a lot of people's top 5, and Magic Johnson was never considered a great defender. Shit, Magic Johnson was never considered a good defender. But he's in a lot of people's top 5, almost everybody's top 10. Where did these weird criteria come from that you got to be great on both sides of the ball? Where's this narrative coming from? Where do y'all standards come from? Because if that is the standard for your list, that means you got Magic Johnson outside of your top 10. See, y'all come up with these weird standards for players of today to keep them out of the top 10, right? Because of the nostalgia of the players that you want to keep there. Nobody wants to bump Kareem down. Nobody wants to bump Jordan down. Nobody wants to bump Magic and Bird and those guys down. Nobody wants to bump them down, right? This is the nostalgia of your era, right? Kobe, everybody, the nostalgia of Kobe elevates Kobe and puts him ridiculously high, like in some people's top 3. That's not real basketball. Main says Karceno is a gamer and thinks it makes him knowledgeable. What Karceno needs to do is Karceno needs to pull up to the stream. I'm going to try to get some people from another channel called Odds Jam over here where they can explain to him something called positive EV betting. So he can really start taking using the mathematical formulas to help him win some money as opposed to walking out of a bar trying to trick his fans, acting like he really picked the Mavs to win a game. Like nobody in their right mind is going to bet against the Warriors in this series. Now, if you bet today, you might have came up a little bit, but again, you're not going to win out. I bet this might be the only game because I guarantee you, nobody's taking any bets on Dallas for Game 5. Told you, sensible basketball minds understand that the matchup with the Dallas Mavericks favored Golden State. There was nothing close about it. It's not about just having 4 All-Stars, right? Because nobody was clamoring, running around calling Wiggins an All-Star when he was in Minnesota. A lot of people were saying he was a choker. He was a disappointment, right? He only played on one side of the ball, right? A lot of y'all look at Draymond and say, oh, he only averages 7 points a game, X, Y, and Z. A lot of y'all was just saying Klay Thompson coming off the injury don't look the same. But now all of a sudden they start winning. Now people like Jomo want to run to, oh, they got 4 All-Stars. No, they have 1 All-Star and 3 former All-Stars, at least 2 All-Stars, because Wiggins is an All-Star starter this year, deservedly so. And the others are former All-Stars. Draymond Green is going to go down as the greatest role player of all time. Y'all need to just stop hating. And it's not the Warriors' fault, right? The Warriors, okay, y'all want to say the Warriors finessed by getting Kevin Durant. Well, they don't got Kevin Durant no more. Everything that they've done from here on out has been organic. They've drafted a lot of the players that y'all seeing on the court. Now that they're going back to doing it the way that y'all want them to do it, and you don't get mad because they winning once again, and the players that y'all be capping for, like KD and Kyrie, are sitting at home watching TV. And now y'all got to fake like y'all mad at them right now. This is what the LeBron James haters are doing right now. They're faking like they're mad. They're faking like they want to put Tatum over KD. All these fake takes. And it's time to give, we gotta really give, can we give Steph Curry a true evaluation with regards to his credentials to be in the top 10? Right? I don't think a lot of people are doing that. Right? Whenever we talk about the top 10 and we're talking about one of the players of the day, everybody's saying, I'm hearing some of the dumbest stuff. People are saying, oh, if you ain't three-peat, you can't be in the top 10. Do y'all know how hard it is to three-peat? Especially in this era? When did three-peating become criteria? People say the most idiotic stuff, and they put standards on these players of the day to be great, to at least get into the top 10 for them. They set the bar far too high. They didn't set the bar. They don't even know why they got some of the players that they got in their top. Like, nobody knows why some of these people, especially the LeBron James haters, they'll be like, Hakeem's top 10. But they won't even know the slightest. The only thing they know about Hakeem is that he won 2 chips. 2 chips when Michael Jordan retired. Right? But nobody holds competition against Hakeem. Nobody's running around saying that those championships have an asterisk on it because Jordan wasn't in the league and Jordan was generally winning all the chips. Right? Nobody talks about Hakeem getting bounced out the first round for the majority of his career, for the most part. Nobody talks about that. Nobody. And then when you get to the personal stuff, none of them will tell. They'll act like it never happened that Hakeem quit on his team and even got suspended multiple times for faking injuries because he wanted a pay raise because he signed a bad contract. They won't talk about that. But they'll just throw Hakeem in the top 10 and they're just like, the last time I checked, I can swear Steph Curry, his career-wise, he's achieved far more than Hakeem. John Davis said, who did Hakeem play, though? He didn't play anybody. Right? He didn't play anybody because he didn't beat any champions. John Davis, tell me the champions that he had to dethrone. He didn't beat anybody. And when Jordan came back and was at 100%, what happened? They went back to hiding in the shadows, being mediocre. That's not tweaking, that's facts. Hakeem Olajuwon, 2 championships. Steph Curry already has 2 championships. Right? Steph Curry, bigger impact on the game. Steph Curry completely changed the game. Steph Curry, far superior offensive player. He says he beat Ewing head up. No. He beat the Knicks head up. He beat the Knicks head up, and that Knicks team never came close to beating the Bulls. So that Knicks team was in the finals by default because the Bulls weren't there. He beat Shaq and Penny head up. You're talking about a young Shaq and Penny that were never going to win unless they were able to grow and get more experience together. They beat a young Shaq and Penny. Swept them, actually. But that was surely experience. And the other coach, what's his name? I think Hill, getting severely outcoached. Brian Hill, severely outcoached. He says Hakeem did beat the Lakers in 86, but they lost, MacDuff. And that was when Hakeem actually had his running mate, wasn't it? Wasn't it, MacDuff? That's when he actually also was running alongside with another All-Star. I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, people, and this is not to knock Hakeem Olajuwon. It's not to knock or denigrate Hakeem Olajuwon. But what I'm saying is, people are so quick to fall into the nostalgia of Hakeem's fancy footwork, the highlights that they saw on Inside the NBA, whatever shows they watched back then, right? They'll fall into that nostalgia, but really won't understand why they have him in the top 10. They just say he's top 10. Nobody really understands why he's there. It's nostalgia that puts him there. But then when it comes time to start evaluating some of these new players, these new players are going to be getting phased out, retiring soon, the KDs, the Kevin Durant's, all these players. When these players start retiring, now we have to figure out, where do we put them? And are we just going to automatically put them below those guys? Or are we going to actually give them a fair shake? Are we actually going to give them a fair shake? You got some people saying if Steph Curry wins the championships there this year and gets a Finals MVP, he's far past Hakeem. Not even close. That's what I believe. But that's only if you being fair and you taking fair criteria and you judging these players fairly. He says, AP says Hakeem had. I know, but again, we're not comparing game. See, this is the problem. The all-time list, top 10, is not about game. It's about what you've done with that game to make a career. Like I tell this to people all the time. Had it not been for injuries, if you talk about skill, if you just talk about pure game, Grant Hill is top 10 all time. It's just when he's healthy, Grant Hill was a top 10 player all time if you're just talking about pure talent and skill. But because of the injuries, he was never able to use that skill on the court to get championships, MVPs, and all that stuff. This is why Grant Hill won't be up there. But if you're talking about skill-wise, just skill, handles, defense, scoring, attacking the back, Grant Hill is one of the most talented players of all time. So it's not about having holes in their game. Bill Russell has a myriad of holes in his game. But Bill Russell was extremely great on the defensive side of the ball and rebounding the ball. I mean, Bill Russell on some plays is rebounding 4 and 5 of his own missed layups. Every player has holes. And then even with Hakeem Olajuwon, y'all give him credit for things that he was never even capable of doing. You got people out here saying Hakeem could guard 1 through 5. No, he couldn't. Outside of the perimeter, people were scoring on Hakeem Olajuwon at like 70% field goal percentage. He couldn't guard outside of the paint. But see, nobody's going to talk about that. See, nobody's going to talk about the numbers. What they'll do is they'll cry and say, oh, the analytics, man. I hate the people, especially these LeBron haters. They hate analytics because analytics actually start to expose some truths in the numbers. And see, and then LeBron James haters only want to use analytics when they're looking to use them for players to elevate them over the guys they don't like. They'll use analytics with Jordan over LeBron. Then they'll start saying, oh, yeah, all Jordan's analytics, a lot of them analytics are higher than LeBron's. But see, they'll get to using them then. This is why you can't take them as credible. They're not very credible. He says Steph can't guard nowhere. AP, that's not true. That's not true. I literally just watched Steph Curry get a game-saving block on Ja Morant in just the last round of the playoffs. And you can't tell me another explosive player outside of Ja Morant in this league. We literally just watched him get a defensive stop in a clutch moment. But see, people like you won't talk about those moments to at least give him credit for it. He can guard. He can defend. He actually gives much more effort on the defensive end than a lot of people give him credit. See, y'all just don't want to talk about it. But see, y'all be the same people that will run around and say Draymond Green is overrated as a defender, even though the late, great Kobe Bryant actually stamped his defense as one of the top 5 all-time defenders of all time. Oh, but until you hear Kobe say it, we just going to go with y'all logic. We're going to go with y'all weird logic. I told you, I literally went to a LeBron James hater page, and this man said Draymond Green's defense is overrated. Do you even watch the game? He says, Eastgate says, Steph isn't a good individual defender, but has good team defense and instincts. Being an individual defender is just one aspect of defense. Defense is made up of a lot of different things, right? Just like scoring is made up of a multitude of different things. Is Steph great at everything scoring-wise? No, but he's still one of the greatest offensive players that we've seen. Was Jordan great at everything on the floor? No. He wasn't a great three-point shooter, but he's still one of the greatest offensive. You don't have to be great at everything on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. People try to lie and throw a lot of shade in for these players, right? They try to only use facts when they want them to. They try to manipulate the numbers. Again, that's why in sports, stats are not always facts. As I've always said, because stats can be manipulated in sports. Stats can be manipulated in sports. This is why, because if stats were facts, you wouldn't need something called context. The numbers would simply speak for themselves, but the numbers don't speak for themselves. Context, analytics, and people who actually watch the game speak for those numbers. Curry hate is fed by horrible takes. Yes, people just hate Curry. That's the thing. People not willing to give Curry an honest shake or at least a consideration for the top 10 because of the hate for him. These old heads that say, oh, he just shoots all threes. No, he does more than shoot all threes. If you look at, nobody was running around saying Reggie shot all threes. Even though Reggie was a great three-point shooter, Reggie gets credit for what? Right? Running off screens, running his man to death. He never stopped moving. Right? He kept, like, and y'all complain and talk about people that don't stop moving. Curry never stops moving. His movement off the ball is what creates those looks for Jordan Poole. What creates those open looks for Clay. But he won't get credit for that. Y'all just say Jordan Poole is great. Can do what he does anywhere, anytime. I think Steph Curry being on the floor has a lot to do with that. And I'm also talking about the impact that he has in practice and in the locker room. You can see the similarities in their game. Come on, y'all. It's time. We're about to drop the link, man. We're going to see what people is going to come up here and fake with the fake takes, right? And I'm going to show y'all this video, too. I told you, this video of Karceno is so ridiculous. It's just sad to me. It's just sad. All right. Let me get this link in here. It's time to come cook. Because, again, too many biases, too many LeBron James haters. And if you hate LeBron James, you better come in here with some damn good reasons as to why you don't feel he's great. He says Grant Hill averaged 25 only once in his career. Pierce, he only averaged 25 because of the injuries. I mean, Grant Hill, when he was healthy, was unstoppable. Grant Hill, when healthy, was one of the most unstoppable players that this game has ever seen. We just never got to see that skill blossom into greatness. One, because he was with a bad organization. And two, injuries kept stifling his career. Injuries will do that to you. But see, if you're honest about Grant Hill, anybody with a brain knows that if he stays healthy for a full career, a full 17-year career like that of a Kobe, for the most part, he's easily top 10, top 15, no problem. That's at a minimum if he stays healthy. That's at a minimum. I'm about to get this link ready. We're going to get y'all here to cook. Thought I saw One Cool P in there. Salute to One Cool P. Appreciate you pulling up. Anti, I saw you in there. Hold on, let me get this link. Oh, did I close out my notes? Because we got to cook on these topics. And I'm curious to see what y'all going to be saying today. I'm curious to see the angle that y'all going to come with. Now that y'all been forewarned, right, that I'm on my hate detector is going to go off if I hear you capping. If I hear you lying, if I hear you trying to finesse and use that bad, tired logic. He says, if you made a team of all greats, Curry has to be in the starting five. Look, and not even in the starting five, I wouldn't even say. Because even at that, because I even heard Sturdy. I heard Sturdy say on another channel, it's hard to put Steph in the top 10 because he's not even top 5 at his position. The problem with Steph is that he's changed the game to such a degree, nobody really even knows what his position is. Is he a 1? Because they have him listed at point guard, or is he a 2? Because he scores a lot and he moves a lot. He creates a lot of offense through the way he scores the ball. Nobody even really knows where to put him with regards to position. So you can't really compare him to the traditional point guards of old. You can't compare Steph to a John Stockton or Magic. They play two completely different styles of play. Come on, man. It's crazy. But main, combo guard is not a real position. When you go into the history books, you're not going to see combo guard. You're going to see point guard, shooting guard, small forward. That's why you can't even go off that criteria. That criteria in and of itself is flawed because today's game, players now are redefining what roles are. Right? In the 90s, you would never find a center that could lead the league in assists. Now we have Jokic. Now we have a Draymond Green. Two guys that could potentially lead the NBA in assists. That would never have happened in the 90s because the styles of play and people were so infatuated with that if you were a point guard, there were certain things you had to do and do only. If you were, remember, this is why it was hard for Iverson. A lot of coaches didn't like his game when he first came into the league because he was labeled a point guard coming in. And then they had to move him over to the 2 because he was starting to redefine what a point guard was. Steph is a scoring point guard. But traditionally the point guard is the person that facilitates your offense. Point guard is generally not the person finishing your offense, scoring the ball, generally throughout history. This was the era where players like Steph Curry redefined that. And then now we have the Trays and all the other point guards that are now following suit. And he deserves some credit for changing the game because that style of play became extremely difficult to defend. Just like what Draymond and Jokic does, because of what they do, it's extremely difficult to defend. Luka is a 6'8" point guard. All right, at his size, he's not nimble, he's not fast, he's not super athletic. It's rare to see. You would never have seen Luka running point guard in the 90s. That's just never where they would have stuck him. They would have stuck him at small forward, power forward, and it would have completely redefined his game. Steph Curry needs real and honest consideration. Steph Curry needs real and honest consideration with regards to the top 5. Nobody's giving him real, true consideration. Look, I don't care if you don't put him in your top 10 or top 5, but he needs an honest, true assessment because he's going to go down as one of the greatest players in this game. We will never see another Steph Curry once he's gone. And when you have a player like that, you have to give him a fair shake. See, you got grind hard grounder. You see, again, I'm saying staples in a lot of people's list. You know, I think Magic Johnson is a staple on most people's list because of the nostalgia. Nobody wants to bump him below 5. The same with Larry Bird. Nobody wants to bump him. Bump players like Bird or Magic down. But is it time to start considering these players might get bumped down? Because the players of today have much more longevity. They're winning many more accolades. They're doing things that we've never seen. It's crazy. Let me get this link in here, y'all. Remember, no cap in today. If you're a LeBron James hater and you just a cockroach who just likes to hate on LeBron and tag and attach yourself to talking points that go against them, and just to be talking, right? You can come up, but I'm warning you now, it ain't gonna be good. All right. If you want to be one of those people to come in here and say LeBron James 8 top 10, whether you like him or not, the man is top 10 all time. And it shouldn't have to take another NBA player or another NBA great telling you that. Now, am I running around saying he's better than Jordan? No. But there's certain places in these lists where people belong. And there's certain players that need consideration. And Steph Curry, by the time he retires, especially imagine if he wins another championship and he gets a finals MVP, something that many of the Steph Curry haters say he needs. It's time. J-Mo says, Lamont calling out 3 channels. No, I mentioned whoever. J-Mo, why do you keep saying I'm calling people out? I say, if I hear you say something I don't agree, it's okay. You know how many things True the King says about the Celtics and I have to call that out on here? You're making it seem like this is brand new or a big deal. You're making a big deal out of stuff. I told you, that's the womanish stuff. I don't sit here. If I want to call you out, I'm going to put you in a title. If I want to call you out specifically. If you have a bad basketball take on something, I'm going to say it. Nobody's feelings are hurt over here. But see, the LeBron James haters are real sensitive about when you call them out. So they may take it a certain way. So the only people who might take this a certain way are the true LeBron James haters, which I'm fine with that. Told you, thick skin over here. Facts. He says, we can't say he revolutionized the game and then say we won't see another step. Look, there's a lot of people that revolutionized the game. Jordan revolutionized the game to a certain degree, but we still haven't seen another Jordan. There's a lot of players that Shaq revolutionized the game. We won't see another Shaq. Not for a long time. I haven't yet. And it's been a long time. Kareem revolutionized the game. As soon as he retired, nobody else threw up another hook shot. That shit's hard. If you've ever actually went to a gym and started throwing up hook shots. You can revolutionize the game and influence the way people play, but no one else can do it the way you did it. The originator of something is always going to be the best at it. That's all I'm saying. But you can do that. Hold on, let me fix my camera, y'all. I just dropped a link in the chat. Just dropped the link in the chat, y'all. All right, man. Y'all can pull up, man. A lot of people, a lot of takes we got to talk about. But, man, we got to start giving these players their flowers and giving them fair comparison on where they need to be placed in these top time lists. He says Dr. J is the originator. And if you feel that way, if Dr. J is the originator and MJ took his style, all right. I don't believe so. I mean, if you're talking about dunking the ball. But Dr. J was great. I just think what MJ did, and I'm talking about when I'm talking impact on the game, I'm not just talking about your play. I'm talking about on the court, off the court, all these things. You keep saying King Cali paid a man, Lamont. If King Cali pulls up to the channel and I see him, I'll say something. I just haven't seen him in the chat. And sometimes people ain't got it all the time. I'm not going to sweat King Cali like that. I think I still owe True to King. I can't say nothing. I haven't even been making my little $2 payments to True to King. Because then, he got me on a payment plan. I can't say much. All right, we got a few people in the backstage. We got True to King, Ralph Lauren, Ryan Williams. We got Kel.
What up, bro? What up, everybody, man? Hey.
Dark side Lamont.
No, we ain't. Hold up. So, hold up. I don't care about the
some
LeBron.
of these niggas out of the top 10, 5, 15, 20, and put these new niggas in.
Hey, I tell you, hold up, though. I tell you this. I don't care about the LeBron James hate. You got to stop that King hate, man. That shit it's not enough's enough. It's been going on for too long, man. I remember it going on for too long.
Gonna add up to some of these new folks.
I will stop if you answer this one question. What did I say about Akeem that wasn't factual?
Curry had a better career than he did.
Nobody. Who do you play? That's cap.
I don't care about the competition part because I mean, but you said that he had Curry had a better career than King.
Hold on, I heard what Ryan Williams said.
Oh yeah.
Remember when I said he didn't play anybody? I said he didn't play any champions. I said what champions did he throw him? Because remember, that statement is a direct correlation to the LeBron James hater logic. So it kind of weasels them out of even using that logic in the future because they talk about LeBron. One of the LeBron James haters' main talking points. He played in the weak East. That's how he was getting to all the finals.
Well, that's not true.
Well, I know, and you can run with that if it's true. But if that's true, then we also have to look at the NBA when Jordan retired, which was also a league full of teams that couldn't win a championship because they couldn't beat the Bulls. So they all were losers. So Hakeem essentially beat a bunch of losers. Now, you decide if you want to put an asterisk on them championships because you guys are so quick to put asterisks on everything that these players do today. It's an asterisk on the bubble. It's an asterisk in the lockout years. I want to put these asterisks. Well, can we put an asterisk next to Hakeem's 2 chips because Jordan mysteriously retired? Many people say the league forced it.
And Lamont, he ain't had no Magic to go up against in the Western Conference.
I just want to know. what champions did he beat? Ewing wasn't no champion. Ewing didn't win shit.
Shaq wasn't a champion, though?
No, Shaq wasn't a champion.
He wasn't.
Shaq was a young player still trying to figure out the league.
Okay, so Shaq was trash according to your logic.
No, hold on. Ryan Williams, don't lie. Hold on, Ralph. Right, but don't lie. I never said Shaq was trash. I said he was a young player, Shaq and Penny. That was a young team, and they ran up against a much more experienced team in the Rockets, and that's why they got swept. And they also, the poor coaching of Brian Hill also had a lot to do with what also that sweep too, because that team was good enough to at least get one game. They shouldn't have got swept.
Right. Okay, but here's my thing. So one thing you'll hear from a lot of 90s people, they'll say, oh, the only reason guys like, Charles Barkley or whoever else didn't win championships is because of Jordan. My whole thing was there was that 2-year period where there was no Jordan. And say what you want about Hakeem, he got it done. So, you know what I'm saying? I think we do got to give him credit for that, though.
Hakeem played the majority of his career, I think it was 15 to 17 years, with Jordan in the league. The only time he actually won anything was when Jordan was retired. That's kind of suspicious looking.
but
I
he never
mean,
played him in the playoffs though.
right, here's the counter to that though. I mean,
Ain't no
okay,
problem.
the 2 years that Jordan didn't play, right? 2 years Jordan didn't play. We don't know what them Bulls teams would have been. The fact that they lost Horace Grant and they didn't have Dennis Rodman in those 2 years, that was a big factor. If that Bulls team would have won championships in those 2 years, and mind you, the wear and tear too, though. That 2 year break helped the Bulls with the second three-peat. You know what I mean? So,
The
I mean,
unfortunate thing is, I'm only going off what's already stamped in history and
no,
what's
I'm
done.
saying, but I understand that. But I'm just saying,
The
I
what
mean,
ifs, I'm talking about.
I'm not saying the what if. I'm saying, all I'm saying is the team probably still would have won a championship
Hey, look,
regardless,
look.
even regardless.
All I'm saying, hold on. All I'm saying is, I'm judging these players. Look, if I want to, I'm using the same unfair criteria and the same weird talking points that LeBron James haters use. Let me use them because, again, LeBron James haters freely use them recklessly all the time.
Yeah.
I'm using that same weirdo logic.
Wait, Lamont. Now I gotta, because you did say that Hakeem didn't beat any champions. That's cap. He beat Magic Johnson in '86.
Hold on, in the finals, what
Oh,
champions
come
did he
on,
beat?
bro! You can't add all these fucking extra caveats.
I said no. Hold on.
You said
I
he
said
did not beat a champion.
I
I said
said
that from the gate.
I said when he dethroned, he dethrone any champions. That means when you meet in the finals, did he dethrone another team? Did he take down a team?
Right.
Did he go into the finals? And and we were because that second trip there, it was looking kind of shaky. It was looking kind of shaky until they got Clyde. It was looking real shaky.
Who wasn't an all-star that year, but continue.
Don't matter. I'm not knocking Clyde. I'm saying Clyde was still averaging over 20 a game.
But he wasn't an all-star though.
He was still averaging over 20 a game.
Clyde really wasn't that nice, to be honest.
Oh, okay, so he can average over 20 a game, but he's not that nice.
He wasn't that dude though.
Hold on, do you have
that.
so I shouldn't have to play clips of Clyde in
tactician,
90 and 95 to show you that he was still nice in 95.
He was cool, but he wasn't that dude though.
See, that's that Jordan logic right there. Denigrate others just to boost up one.
No,
That
that's
shit-
not
that
true.
shit
That's not true.
Am I right, y'all? That's Jordan Knight
That
logic.
shit is corny. That's
I'm
the
not
angle
even
I ain't
pretty
trying
much.
to do it.
That's
That's
that
true.
angle.
But Lamont,
That's Jordan Knight 101. That's Jordan Knight logic
But
101.
Lamont, see Lamont, but that's wasn't the angle I'm trying to use. I understand what you're trying to do. But that's what I'm trying to like.
Look, I
that's
respect
corny.
Hakeem's. Look, I'll tell y'all this right. I respect his championships. I'm saying if we're going to go off the flaw criteria, and salute to Sammy, I see you in the chat. I saw you said salute. I'm saying if we go off flawed talking points, then my main talking point when I get to knocking on some of these other people like that Hakeem is in a lot of people's top 10. Well, if I get to really breaking it down and critiquing it, well, there's a lot of asterisks I can throw on certain things.
Okay.
And then, especially if I'm putting his resume up against a guy like Steph Curry, who still isn't done playing. Steph Curry's resume is still getting written, and his resume is equal, if not greater than Hakeem's already.
I don't know about that.
And Lamont, I wanted to speak to you on
That's
that.
a fact, bro.
The Hakeem being top 10. Like, I don't even have a problem with if Curry's in your top 10, that's cool. But come on, bro. There aren't three centers better than Hakeem. There aren't three centers.
It doesn't matter. Hold on. I don't care what position it is because I don't care. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is, it's not what you're talking about. Then is I already broke this down. It's not about talent. We're talking about how did you utilize that talent and make a great career out of it.
That's what you've done in the league.
It's what you do with the talent.
So then why?
Because you can say Hakeem's better than Shaq, but Shaq did more with his talent than Hakeem.
That's
won
debatable.
More chips.
That's debatable.
That's not debatable.
Yeah, it is.
He won
Shaq
more.
was dominant more than Hakeem in the league, bro.
That's debatable, bro. Y'all tapping.
Ryan. I'm gonna tell you the number one thing. Hakeem Olajuwon played, I think, like 15 to 17 years in the league.
Yeah.
All that time in the league, he only had a total of 90 MVP votes altogether throughout his whole time in the league. That tells you right there that people in the league during that time weren't even voting for him a lot to even win the MVP award. He wasn't even collecting a lot of first place votes.
Here's my problem with Shaq, though, bro.
That's not me. That's what y'all 90 fan did to him in the time. Y'all didn't give him no first place votes. So now you expect to try to trick me into thinking he's top 10 all time when even in the 90s, y'all wasn't even voting for him to be MVP.
But like,
Jordan had more dominant playoffs than this man.
No, that's
not
cap.
doing that.
That's cap.
It's
That's a
not
lie.
cap.
That's a lie.
It's
That's a
not.
lie. Go back and look at the numbers, bro. Kobe was dominating in those playoffs.
Hold on, Ryan.
It
Ryan,
doesn't
hold on.
matter
In
what
the
Hold on,
Western
Ralph.
Conference, in the
Ralph.
Western
Ralph.
Conference
Ralph,
before the
hold on,
finals.
Ralph.
I'm talking
Hold
about
on,
the
Ryan.
Western Conference.
Ryan.
I'm talking about the Western Conference.
Ryan, if you put Shaq's playoff career up to Hakeem's, Shaq's is going to destroy primarily because Hakeem spent a lot of his time in the playoffs getting bounced and bopped out of the first round.
Hakeem had worse teams though.
He was
That
getting
shit
bopped
don't
out.
matter, bro. It's what
It
you
does
do
matter.
with your talent.
What you mean? We talking about
Look at
winning and
Luka
losing,
team.
right?
Look at
You
your
gotta have a team to win, right?
No. It's about the numbers you put up.
Okay.
When you're on the court.
No, hold on. So you
But
saying
Lamar was talking about dudes getting bopped out.
Hold on. Are you saying Hakeem Olajuwon? Are you saying Hakeem Olajuwon didn't have good teams?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
How many times was he bopped out? How many times was he bopped out of the playoffs and he was the higher seeded team? He was getting beat sometimes by lower seeded teams.
Bro, how many All-Stars did he play with? Did he even have an All-Star?
You acting like he was losing.
It is though.
Don't try to trick us. Don't try to trick. But don't try to finesse.
All-Star damn near every year.
No, but don't try to finesse and act like Hakeem was losing to the number 1 seed every year.
Yeah, that's not true. Though.
That's not true. He was losing. He was losing to inferior teams.
Y'all gotta stop using that. Y'all gotta stop using that. Oh, he played with more talent argument. That shit get real.
Hold on, we gonna run down the roster of some of the teams he's lost.
Come on, now wait a minute, because you.
That shit, because you can be because you can be the best player with playing with more talent. We see that shit all the fucking time, bro. That shit's
like
corny.
when.
In everyday basketball, you have the best player.
Name an
hold on, you can be the best. Hold on. You can be the best player in the fucking world and have the best teammates. You can do both. You can have both. It doesn't matter. All it matters is what you do on the court. That's all it really matters. Is what you do on that court.
Okay. Find a way to win and get your numbers at the same.
Like it doesn't matter. Jordan. Hold up. Jordan is you can say Jordan's the greatest of all time, but he also had arguably the best team of all time.
But see, early in his career when he was losing, his teams were trash.
But you talk about his whole career, but you brought up Shaq's whole career. Oh, he played with way more. It doesn't. He can be. He can be. I don't. Hold on.
He did.
I don't even think Shaq is better than King, but just using that argument is lazy. Using that argument is lazy.
Hold on, y'all.
Bro, when we're talking about winning or losing, if we're talking about just stats, okay, I get you. But we're talking about winning and losing. The team you have matters. Does it not?
I'm not saying it don't matter, but you can't dismiss that and say, hold on. I'm not saying.
Hold on. Let me give you an example. Hold on, True. Let me give you a quick example of Hakeem Olajuwon because this is something that people won't tell you. In 1986-87, the Rockets lost in the second round of the playoffs. You want me to tell you who they lost to? They lost to a team that finished the regular season with a 39-43 record. That's the team that they lost to. But yet you want to convince me and try to trick me into believing that they got beat by some world beaters. The superior team there was the Rockets. The Rockets were supposed to win. But y'all don't run around talking about Hakeem choked, which he did. They lost in 6. They lost in 6. They lost in 6.
What was his numbers like?
They lost in 6 games to an inferior team.
But if Hakeem was balling, it don't matter.
It does matter if they lost in 6.
If he was balling, okay, bro. But if he was balling, you can't say he choked.
No, I'm saying no. What I'm saying is because
hold on.
What I'm saying is LeBron James haters. If you don't win, they don't care about the level of competition. They don't care about if you played out of your mind because there's a lot of times LeBron James played out of his mind in the finals, averaged a triple-double, but still lost. Y'all don't care about y'all don't care about common sense. So with Hakeem, we not gonna use common sense because that's too much common sense for the LeBron James haters. We gonna use the flawed logic that y'all like to come with, and y'all come with if you lose, you choke. If you lose to an inferior team, a team with a losing record, you choke. They lost to a team with a losing record in the playoffs in 1986-87. This is a year off of coming off the finals. They went to the finals the year before. But they come the next year and lose to a team with a losing record in the playoffs in 6 games. How is that not choking?
What did that team do after that?
What do you mean, what did that team do after it? He lost to a team with a losing record. A team that barely scraped into the playoffs, they lost to. Is that choking?
I feel like we need more content.
Didn't the Phoenix Suns choke against the Mavs?
Most definitely.
Okay, Hakeem choked.
Yeah.
Hakeem choked.
Same thing, bro.
Hakeem choked. So we
Fair
give
point.
but see, the thing is, it's so far back. Y'all don't expect us to go back and do the research. See, when we go start really investigating some of these L's that he took, when we really start looking at the L's that he took, like when he lost in 1988, when he lost in 1988 to the Dallas Mavericks, they lost they got swept. Or no, they actually lost 3-1 because they actually lost 3-1, right? Gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
Did he choke there?
Yeah. I mean, if they were the higher seed, yeah. But I'd have to see Hakeem's team, though. That's the thing, though.
See, here's the problem, though. How you not know these things if you willing to put this man in the top 10?
Because of accomplishments and history.
You can't. Hold on. All these moments, you don't know all these things. I gotta recall them because y'all expected us to forget and not talk about it.
That's
But
because
now
they
we're
didn't
talking about
watch or do their
it. Because when we talk about
investigation,
Steph Curry, people get to talking about Steph Curry choking in the finals. They say all this weird stuff about
I
Steph
never
Curry.
said nothing about Steph Curry choking.
You see, this stream not about you, bro. It's about the people
Who?
that he's talking about.
Just in general,
That with
LeBron
the
James
LeBron
hates.
Harry
And
King and
this is
narrative,
why Steph Curry can never get a fair shake in these arguments because the nostalgia around Hakeem has this man putting Hakeem in his top 10. He don't even know why he got Hakeem in his top 10.
Accomplishments, bro. You can't.
His
look at
accomplishments don't match up to Steph's and will not match up.
His accolades don't match up to Steph, bro.
But I'm not talking about Steph. Like, I'm not talking about Steph.
This thing is about Steph, bro.
Right. Okay, but here's my thing. Why can't I have Hakeem and Steph both in my top 10?
No, I was just using Hakeem as an example.
Okay.
So the example was with Hakeem. A lot of people have him in the top 10, just like I showed with you, and you don't even know why you have him there.
Accomplishments, sir.
No, you don't. You don't even know his accomplishments.
I could name them. I know for a
name
fact,
them right now without Google.
I know for a fact he has a defensive player of the year award. He has multiple All-Star games appearances. He won 2 championships. 2 championships that he won both times without another All-Star.
That's not even an accomplishment, bro.
That is an accomplishment. How many other players? How many other players have led their team to a?
Bro.
That's an accomplishment, bro. Because
you don't get an award for that or stat.
It's not a stat, but it's just a fact, though. It's a fact because if you look through the history of the league, every championship team has had at least 2 All-Stars.
No, it's not. Dirk ain't had no All-Star.
Huh? Who?
Dirk, when he won, they ain't had no All-Star.
I was gonna say he's like the other one. He's like the only other one. But every other fucking nigga that got a championship, they did it with another All-Star. Kobe won all his championships with another All-Star.
Hold on, there's some of those years is not fair because Ewing got his team to the finals to play against the Rockets, and they would have won without another All-Star. A lot of these players, especially in the '90s, were playing without multiple All-Stars. That was commonplace in the '90s. You're talking about something that every team that was commonplace. That was commonplace in the '90s.
He ain't had no All-Star when he.
That's how teams were built.
Right.
Thank you for bringing up my second point then, because like I said,
so he was playing other teams with one All-Star when he beat the Knicks.
Why did those other teams not win?
Hold on, when he beat the Knicks only had one All-Star. It was equal footing.
Yeah, he outplayed Ewing in that finals.
He did, but what I'm saying is about that Knicks team is that Knicks team never could get to the finals because of why?
Jordan.
And they got there. When did they finally get to the finals?
Without Jordan and the Bulls.
Okay, so then when Hakeem meets this team that could never get past the Bulls in the finals, and
he
Hakeem
smoked
beats
them.
that team.
It's easy work.
Hold on. He did not smoke the Knicks.
He did.
He did not smoke the Knicks.
Yes, he did.
That was 7 games.
That's only because
that's not smoking. That's barely grinding it out to the last game. He smoked the Orlando Magic.
Right.
Okay. But that Magic team was better than that Knicks team, though. So what are you saying?
You can say that, but that Knicks team took him 7 games. The Orlando team.
Right.
Okay, but that Orlando team had 2
You're trying to compare.
Orlando team had 2
You're
All-Stars,
trying to do the
sir.
2K comparison. Who has better players? You're not looking at who were the better teams at the time.
And you contradict yourself talking about 2 All-Stars. They couldn't even get 1 game with their 2 All-Stars.
Exactly.
And the other team had 1 All-Star with the 7 games.
No, but bring context to it.
Yourself,
that
bro.
Shaq just because you're young and All-Stars, being young and not having much experience in the playoffs means a lot. That Orlando
Right.
team was extremely young. No
But they
no
beat Jordan,
playoff
though.
experience.
They
No
beat Jordan,
playoff
though.
experience. Yeah, they did. But they lost. They ultimately lost, and their inexperience in the biggest moment showed bigger than it had ever showed when they played a very experienced team,
exposed.
and not just an experienced team. That Rockets team was extremely well coached with Rudy Tomjanovich. Extremely
Fair
well.
point. Fair point. You feel me? But I just think, like I said, I think that Hakeem has done enough to be. He's for sure a top 2 center. You can't name a better.
I'm not
center
talking
than
about
Hakeem.
top 2. What I'm saying
He's not
is
top 2.
what I'm saying is by the time Steph
Name
Curry
two
retires,
2 centers better than Hakeem.
It's not better than
it's
what.
not about centers. So hold
That's
on,
cap.
hold on,
Fucking
Ralph.
cap.
Let's not get off kilter because I want to go to Kel the guy because he pulled
My
up, he was
fault,
quiet,
bro.
and I want to go to
Is Wilt
talking. and
even
grubbing
better
media.
than Bill Russell?
Hold
I
on,
don't
let
think
me go to Kel the guy, and then I'm gonna go to talking and grubbing media. What do y'all got on this, man?
Man, I just want to get on here and say, man, I ain't gonna lie. Steph top 10. And if he win a ring this year, he top 5. I used to be biased against Steph, man. I used to be saying what y'all saying, Lamont, man. I used to play the science shit, but Steph, I don't know, bro. It's just something about them, bro. Different, bro.
I think it's time that you got to give him his props because
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm seeing Steph do stuff that I ain't never seen before.
Trust me. I'm
I've
watching.
been watching a lot of basketball and I played a lot of basketball. He's doing stuff that I be still sitting back. The man's 34, and I'm still looking back and I'm like, God damn, like that's hard to do. Like that ain't just something a normal basketball player just does. Like, and he's doing it on a consistent basis, but he gets no props for it. People just say chucking up threes and all this. No, that man is extremely skilled.
Man, trust me. I'm a LeBron fan, man. You know how many times we done played in the first time? Come on, man.
What up? What up, Lamont? What up, everybody?
What's up, Jackson?
Who is it? Oh, that's Action Jackson. Got Le Champion on there.
What
good,
up?
Action? Action, what you got on this conversation? I saw you ask for the link, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. What y'all talk about? I just got in here, man.
We just talking about Steph Curry getting a fair shake, potentially being in the top 10, because I think a lot of people just gloss over it. They don't even give it no consideration because nostalgia for some of these players.
Nah,
They don't want to budge.
in the top
They don't
10.
want to bump Magic or Bird down. They don't want to bump any of their greats down that was great when they watched them play, because these players today are doing things that make you scratch your head and be like, hold
Ain't
on,
on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Steph Curry. I mean, like the performance was it yesterday? He makes some crazy shots, man. Like it's unbelievable what he does, man, on the basketball court. Gotta respect that, man.
Hold on, talking and grubbing, man. What you got on this? You got to take yourself off mute, talking and grubbing media. No, he ain't with us right now, man. He's still on mute. We're going to give him a few more minutes to
So
respond.
who won tonight? Who won tonight? I just got
The
some
Mavs
work.
won tonight. Mavs pulled it out. They finally started making their threes. It almost looked like, I almost want to say that the Warriors looked tired tonight. They look
Now, Lamar, you seen that comeback though?
So
The bench did.
yeah, the bench. But see, I
What
saw
Luka
that in the
do?
fourth quarter. They put up a fight, but that just tells you right there how good they are. So
What Luka do?
They're about to take one game off.
hold on, let me
They'll
pull
be
up the
all right.
stats. I haven't even seen the final
He had
stats.
30.
So yeah, they won 109-119 in the fourth quarter. Golden State definitely put up a major fight. They outscored them 39-20 in that fourth quarter. I mean, they were
But
battling.
they went on that run in the third though.
Yeah,
At
they
the
started to
end.
run in the third, into the third, and they carried on to the fourth. They made a ferocious run that was mostly done by the bench. It just wasn't enough. Now they got to go back to Golden State, hopefully.
They almost lost if they ain't put Luka and them back in.
It's over, man. Hey,
They
man.
almost
man.
lost tonight.
Look at me some more firepower, man. Ain't enough firepower on that team, man.
They let
I
Luka
agree.
and them
Hold
stay
on,
on the bench.
we got Dewan
They need to
Hickman
give
says
Luka
Steph
some help.
ain't top 10. Steph, you got to come in here and explain to me. You got to hit this link. I'm gonna drop the link for you, Dewan Hickman.
I feel like they're a player away of being a good team, like a real good team. A player away.
Yeah, that's facts. Hold on, Dewan Hickman, hit the link. I'm gonna drop that link for you. You got to explain to us live and direct why is Steph not a top 10 player in your book? Why? Because again, this is harder to explain than a lot of people think. Because some of the things that come out your mouth can easily get applied to a lot of the people that you might have in your top 10. And I could do that with Hakeem. I could do that with Magic. I could do that with Bird.
Okay, but again, why you gotta always pick on Hakeem though?
I said Hakeem, Magic, and Bird.
I feel like they're better players.
Being a better player is
no.
Not about top 10.
I feel like there are better players that you can put that argument to.
But see, that's your bias. When you say better player, that's your bias kicking in.
Is Oscar your top 10? Is Oscar your top 10?
Who?
Oscar Robertson. I'm talking about Lamont.
Oh.
In my top 10, as constructed, when I did it about a year ago, Oscar Robertson was number 10.
Overrated.
So
how was Oscar overrated?
That nigga ain't win shit till he got with Kareem.
So?
Well, he didn't even play with Kareem.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Nigga,
oh no, my fault. I did. No, I was thinking about the other.
Yeah, but hold on. So what you've done with Oscar? Check this out, y'all. What he just did with Oscar, he put an asterisk on Oscar's championship because he said he only won it because he did it with Kareem. He didn't give him his flowers. He didn't give him his flowers. No, hold on. No, if you actually go research that year like I have, he actually took a back seat and understood he didn't need to do as much to win a championship as opposed to when he was losing before. If you actually go back and do your research on a lot of the times when he was losing, a lot of the times his best players were injured and he was playing with guys that were like the 6th and 7th man on the bench. But see, nobody puts that in the context. But you could have done that. You could have did that with Hakeem if you actually knew his wins and losses in the playoffs. If you actually cared about his losses, you would have broke down why he was losing early, and you could have explained it earlier.
I already broke down that he did not have a good team early on.
How do you know?
Because I did the research.
Okay, so who was on his teams when he lost in 88, and 87?
Shit, I know for a fact that one nigga, Sam Cassell was on one of those teams. I know
he wasn't on no.
He wasn't. He didn't get drafted, bro.
Okay, you right.
You just saying anything, bro.
Yeah, low key. I'm just talking shit.
You can't troll. This is not the strand of troll, bro.
I'm a semi-troll, but like I do think that Hakeem is top 10 though. I mean, like you can't argue with that man's accomplishments.
He didn't accomplish that much.
Bro,
you what?
But you heard what Lamont said, bro.
He didn't. Steph Curry's accomplishments by the time he retires is going to far outweigh what Hakeem ever did.
You could say that about a lot of players that are considered top 10 though. That's my whole point. So why pick on Hakeem?
Okay, so that tells you right there. If you can say that about a lot of players like Steph Curry need even more consideration to be in the top 10.
Right.
I'm not arguing. I think Steph Curry is probably one of the most impactful. I would say Steph Curry is probably one of the most influential players.
You capping. Hakeem had a great team. Hold on.
When?
He had Ralph Sampson.
What year?
He had Cedric Maxwell.
Cedric Maxwell was trash.
He had Sleepy Floyd. He had Joe Barry Carroll. What do you? No. He gets no passes. He gets
Robert Reed.
Joe Barry Carroll was trash too. What you mean? That nigga was a bust. What are you talking about?
No, he went to Purdue, so he can't be trash.
Oh, Joe Barry Carroll.
He went to Purdue, so he can't be trash.
What does that mean? Purdue is trash.
Anybody goes Purdue is goats. Goated.
False.
Even Brian Cardinal.
Even Brian Cardinal.
Steph is top 5.
Name one saucy player coming out that's ever came out of
Jaden Ivey.
He doesn't count. Name
Carson Edwards.
Etwan Moore.
That nigga Etwan Moore is trash. Get the fuck on.
He must be crazy.
Etwan Moore can get buckets, man. He was good.
Like I said, all the saucy players come from Indiana.
Robbie Hummel. You had Robbie Hummel.
Trash.
You got Caleb Swanigan.
Glenn Robinson.
Like I said, all the saucy players come from Indiana University.
Hold on, but I just told you Jaden Ivey. And you know what he did to IU multiple times.
I understand that, bro, but we talking about history, bro. Isaiah Thomas, Victor Oladipo.
You have to go back 50 million years.
Victor Oladipo. Fuck is you talking about?
But Indiana has been relevant for a long time. I would say Purdue more relevant.
I didn't see him. Oh, Bang coming here. He said Steph is top 40 all time. See, Bang has a vested.
That's the LeBron.
Bang has a vested interest and hate for Steph Curry because Steph Curry is one of the prime reasons why LeBron has so many
Why his
L's
king-
on his
That's
championship
what
resume.
I just said. I'm a LeBron fan. That shit crazy, but I ain't gonna lie.
Hold on, we're gonna drop the link for Bang to explain why Curry's top 40 without being emotional. Let's see if he can do it.
Right, without saying.
Bang, you're on the hot seat now.
Yep.
Can you break it down? Could you really realistically explain why Curry's top 40 all time?
And he can't do it without saying Stephanie. Call him Steph.
Can you do this?
And without saying, oh, he had to get KD.
Well, he don't have to get KD because he's
That's what
doing
I'm
it right
saying.
now
He
without
can't-
him.
He can't
Big
say
fact.
it without that. We ain't gonna talk about him
He's
going to
doing
get Wade.
He's doing it with different types of teams, young teams, older
Yeah.
teams, vet teams. He did it with other great players around him, without great players around. He did it when he was younger in 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just proven he's a winning player. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win, or at least put himself in a situation where they can win.
And he did it being the best player, converting the other people, making them better.
Oh, damn. Hold on. Bang just texted me. Bang said that ain't him. That's a fake Bang in the chat.
Damn.
Damn, I wish that was a real Bang. Oh, I should have noticed the logo look all blurry. I should have realized it. I gotta give Bang a wrench or something, man, so we can start telling the difference.
They be saying Steph ain't top 10. He ain't got no finals MVP though. They really believe.
Oh,
Well, that don't mean nothing because he got MVPs and a lot of people don't got MVPs at all.
Facts.
I said, I'm telling you what they saying. Know what I'm saying?
oh, hold on. Bang
I
just called
know.
me too. I don't know how I missed that call.
Shit. You will say Kobe not top 10 because he only got
Hold on.
one
Hold on,
MVP.
y'all. I'm gonna call
Kobe
Bang.
ain't top 10. Kobe's not.
Hakeem got one MVP.
Kobe's
Hold on.
not top 10.
I'm gonna
bro.
call him
Stop.
back. I'm
better
gonna see
than
if he
Hakeem.
explain. I'm gonna see if he
Hell no.
explains. Oh, he said he on the road. He on the
Kobe
road.
got
He on the road.
one regular season MVP.
Yeah,
Now-
and so do
now-
Hakeem. Got one
Okay.
regular season MVP.
I say this. I
So
put
do
Steph Curry
Shaq.
in the top 10 before Kobe.
Hey, answer this question, chat.
Keep that trolling shit to yourself.
He says, if you had a
Kobe
choice.
is overrated as fuck.
Hold on, panel. I want to ask y'all this question. He says, if you had a choice, who do you draft with the first pick, Hakeem or Steph Curry, to build your team around?
It depends. It depends what era. It depends what era. It's different eras.
I'm picking Steph.
That's a great answer. That is a great answer. Definitely
Right,
depends on the
because-
era.
Like back in the 90s, back when Hakeem played, the game was more center oriented. You know what I mean? If Curry would have been drafted in like 84 or whatever, he probably would have been trash because he would have had to fucking be a setup point guard and you got to pass to this dude and like.
Well, you see what they did to Muhammad Abdul Rauf? They said Muhammad Abdul Rauf was Steph before Steph, but we never really got to see it blossom because of the style of the play.
Actually, he got ran out the league.
Well, he got blackballed, but even when he played, he was never looked at as
I do agree.
one of the greats of the league.
But even then, like that's one player though. If you look at a lot of the point guards of that era, they were like, B.J. Armstrong and shit. You know what I mean? They like back in that era, bro. The point guard's job really was just to pass the ball, set up his teammates, run the offense. You know what I mean?
Well,
you
Steph
still see
worth
point
that,
guards-
after we still want to know what he probably would have did that shit on his own.
I don't know if he would have been trashed. I mean, Steph is highly skilled. I think he would have been great.
He wouldn't have been trash, but he wouldn't have been like he is today.
Well, the one thing he would have had in his favor is the fact that, especially in the 90s, where nobody really could guard that far out, where he's making people guard, and two, he can still shoot. He's a guard who he has the ball first. He it's going to be big men really are dictated by how great your point guard is, especially in the 90s. Right? It's hard for you to really thrive without a solid point guard who could consistently get you the ball. And the better your point guard was, the better you were looked at. Hold on, he says you all deflected the question. How we deflect the question?
No, we just answered the question, dude.
Well, he asked you a question back. His question was, what era are we talking about? Are we talking about drafting in the 90s or drafting in the 2000s?
Yeah, still finna
Yeah,
knock.
and that's
I
something
don't
I feel
know.
like
They were
both
little when he
sides,
came in the league.
both
Yeah.
the newer generation and the older generation, they forget context, like eras. Basketball goes through eras in different phases. You feel me? You can't just
Hey,
assume.
But nah, you
hey,
said he
hey,
would be trash.
here's
He
the
ain't
biggest
gonna be
example.
trash. He tripping.
Here's the biggest example of why you would want to go with Steph in this era. If you look at Joel Embiid, he was regarded this year as probably the best player in the league. But he struggled when it mattered most. He struggled to keep his team afloat. But when you look at Luka, who's a guard, dominating the ball, without as nearly as much help as the Sixers have, he's able to get his team to the Western Conference Finals just being great in his position because he's able to dominate and control more of the action more at the point guard
Right,
position.
because
Bigs, yeah, they don't have the same impact on today's game.
this era is more perimeter oriented. You feel me? It's about getting to the cup. You feel me? Shooting threes. You feel me? I mean, the only center that really can have an impact like that is Jokic, and that nigga's.
Do y'all believe this is any credibility? He says, I think the biggest argument against Steph is him not having any finals MVPs.
That's what I just said.
No.
I mean,
that's-
he really should have won MVP in 2015. I mean, I get why they gave it to Iguodala,
But can I ask y'all a question? Why is finals MVP so highly regarded when it's really an award given based on how you play over a 7-game stretch, not the whole season?
Trust me, we know they gave it to Iguodala, bro.
Like,
and then it's not like he played piss poor.
Like was Iggy that team's MVP for the duration of that entire playoffs, or just that 7-game stretch because he had a favorable matchup and was able to do things against LeBron that kind of slowed him down a little bit.
He wasn't even the best in that 7-game series.
That tells me right there. I don't know if the Finals MVP is really that strong of an award.
Facts.
I don't know if I think people elevate it bigger than what it is.
Facts. Finals MVPs are high key overrated. You know what I mean? Cedric Maxwell's a fucking Finals MVP.
I mean, James Worthy got one in the finals, I think. But ain't nobody gonna.
Yeah, but
say
James Worthy could play though. Don't
James Worthy could play
like that.
But I'm saying James Worthy was not close to the best player on that team at that time.
Right. And I think that's where the stigma comes from because usually they give the Finals MVP to the quote unquote best player. You feel me? But sometimes
and Bill Russell wasn't the best in all of them finals.
But you got to think when Bill Russell played, it's unfair for those players because there wasn't even no Finals MVP.
Exactly.
So some of these awards didn't even exist. So it's hard to even use that argument because you can't use it fairly again when you arguing other players. So I don't know how Finals MVP how much impact it actually has.
Hell, fucking Jerry West got a fucking MVP Finals and his team didn't even win.
And this team didn't even win. He says, now we're going to discredit Finals MVPs. It's not about discrediting it. It's about putting it into context.
Bro, it's not that big a deal. Like, that shit is not... That
Finals
really
MVP is just an award given for how you play over 7 games, not the whole playoffs.
Right, Chauncey Billups got Finals MVP.
I hope this ain't a fake account.
Don't disrespect Chauncey Billups, though.
Hey, hold on. We got Mookie in here. Mookie says, drop the link so I can cook you. Now, just to put a preface to this, y'all, Mookie is one of the biggest LeBron James haters. Now, look, y'all have heard everything that I talk about. Watch the same flawed talking points come peeping their head through the cracks and corners, just like cockroaches do when he starts talking. If this is the real Mookie Jones, watch. Check this out.
Kawhi 2014.
This is like a science experiment. Watch this. We're just going to listen. This is a science experiment. And watch how this goes down if this is the real Mookie. I hope that's the real Mookie because I'm telling you, this experiment is going to go wonderfully. This is like perfect timing. Double E said it's fake. Why y'all keep coming up with these fake accounts, man?
Damn, this is lame.
Argue with all the LeBron haters.
Hey, before we continue, Lamont, you brought up Jay Knivey. I just want to say that nigga nice. I ain't even gonna cap.
I know that's the
that
homie
nigga
too, man. I was actually worked out with him a couple weeks ago out here. He was out here training. He's working out with Damian Lillard's trainer, I worked out with him, man. That dude he's better even in person, man.
I'm telling y'all, bro, that nigga's next up, man. That nigga is next up.
I watched him make 89 threes in a row. And I'm talking about floating threes. When we say floating threes, which is harder than standstill threes, that means he's running up and down. That means he's going from one side of the court to a different spot every time. And he made 89 in a row like that. One of the most crazy, insane things I've seen from a shooter. That's tough to do.
That boy's a dog, man.
So, yeah, I can't wait. They say they got him going number 4 right now to the Kings. But I don't know if the Kings take him to guard. I know. I would hate guard.
I don't want to see him.
Yeah, I know. That's like I don't know. That's like the cemetery for rookies.
Facts. He needs to go to Detroit, bro. Him and Kate Cunningham, bro. It's a wrap.
That would be a nice combo in the backcourt right there. That because the one pick that they do have don't look like he's really cutting it. What's his name? The Australian kid, I think.
Oh yeah, you talking about that Killian Hayes?
Yeah, Killian Hayes ain't cutting it.
Garbage. Trash.
He says, "Come on, Lamont, you damn well know." He says, "Damn well, 99% of the time, the best player wins Finals MVP. Don't use a couple times the role player has won it." But what I'm saying is, if you look at that 2015 NBA Finals, Steph Curry was easily the best player. You say he don't have Finals MVPs, but that was one of the few times where they actually gave it to a role player. Everybody knew that should have been Steph's. But then you turn around and use that argument against Steph, saying he don't have a Finals MVP, knowing that they gave his Finals MVP to a role player. So you use logic that you just debunked. Come on, J. Moore. That was you just killed yourself. You just killed your whole argument.
Come on, J. Moore. Use common sense, Mike.
It's rare. You said that Finals MVP generally goes to the best player. Steph was clearly the best player, not Iggy. But that was one of the few times in NBA history where Steph got robbed and they gave it to Iggy.
Hey, they did that shit back to back. Lamont. Kawhi wasn't the best either. He wasn't better than Duncan in them finals. Back to back.
Hold on. What'd you say? What'd you say, Kel to God?
You said Steph was the best player.
I believe he was in 2015.
I guess because they won, but I'm sorry. LeBron was just the best player on the court. I'm sorry, bro.
No. LeBron was the best player on the court, but they generally now give it to the team that wins.
For sure, but I just had to say that. Still, definitely better than Iggy.
X-Men said it's not called the best player award. It's called the most valuable player. Secondly, even if you give him one in 2015, that would be 1 out of 3 chips. All right, but so now the criteria is you have to win Finals MVP and every finals that you play.
Right.
No.
Right.
So that means even though Kareem was a major factor in some of those Lakers championship runs, and we know Magic kind of passed him up because Magic was younger and was the kind of thing shifted over to Magic running the team. We're supposed to hold that against Kareem because Magic started winning the Finals MVPs, not him. No,
right.
If you're a great player on a great team, we give you credit. It's okay that you're not the best player. And Kareem still had a major impact on those teams.
And when you look back at the
Thank you.
MVPs, it was a lot of politics involved more.
Vic answered it right there. Magic don't got 5 Finals MVPs. He don't.
Facts.
I know James Worthy got one on his watch. So, right. I mean, come on. Bad logic right there.
Just like Duncan.
They only go by
Tony Parker and Kawhi got 2 on his watch.
We got Heather. She says Steph Curry shouldn't have gotten Finals MVP. She says LeBron was the most valuable player in that series, hand down.
No.
Don't get it for losing, bro.
In the traditional sense,
that's a fact.
He was. Nobody denies that, but we know that this award in the modern basketball, we're not talking about back when Jerry West played.
But I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was gonna win this year when they lost.
LeBron sexual
in modern basketball, they will never do that.
Bro, I'm keeping it real.
And the reason why they won't do it in modern basketball is because the optics will look terrible on TV.
Fact.
They will never give that award to a losing team. I mean, unless you're averaging 75 and 20 or something ridiculous.
50 and shit.
But they will. The optics on TV look horrible. They won't ever do that.
For sure.
That's like winning a Grammy and your album suck.
Oh, like Macklemore. I'm just capping. I ain't saying no disrespect.
That ain't cap. That's real right there.
Baller's Life said that was me for the record. What you mean that was you? That's why y'all got to come on the panel so I don't get what y'all say confused. I'm trying to put the comments on the screen as they come. Look, and while we at it, remember, look, we got a drawing on the 25th. Actually, the date got moved. It was the 22nd, but we had to move the date. Raffling away. We got 4 pieces of autographed merchandise. We got a Tom Brady autograph card. We got a LeBron James autograph card. $1 per raffle ticket. Right? $1 per raffle ticket from Sports Integrity. And you get something called a PSA. It's autograph verification that comes with it. So if you do want to resell it, you got the authenticity certificate to go along with it. The Brown Refractor, 1 of 1,000 autographed in the Brady Topps cards, 1 of 2,000 right here. And then now we just got added a Jordan and a Jordan Kobe piece added. We raffling away as well. So if you want to enter before the 25th, $1 raffle, just drop it into the Cash App and then put the name of the card that you want to be in the raffle for. So right now we got like 1,300 raffle entries total. So again, if you want to be one of them 1,300 raffle entrants, you got to hit the Cash App and you have to specify which autograph card you want to get in a raffle for. Otherwise, I'm just going to designate it for you. So you might win something you don't want if you do win. Now we got to get back to it. Also, Ball is Life. He got Vash. Vash says, whenever someone disagrees, people say Brian's sexual. Facts.
Nah, nigga, that was some non-sexual logic.
What's that?
About the MVP.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that said that there's a lot of people outperform the champions. And nobody else saying nobody else.
Bang just hit me. Bang says, I better win the LeBron card, nigga. Bang want me to he want me to rig the drawing. I can't rig it, man.
I don't understand how y'all don't be getting on these Jordan fans though. They be coming up with these criteria.
Oh, we be killing them, bro. We be killing them. I ain't gonna lie.
Y'all talking about bronzexuals. Come on, man. These were the criteria come.
Hey, but bronzexuals are a real thing though. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
don't act like
for sure. Bro, I used to.
They not nearly as bad as JDR's.
I say they're both like equally not. They're both toxic. They're both just toxic.
The one thing I give bronzexuals credit for is that they know the game better than JDR's.
That's debatable. That's
not debatable.
There are some bronzexuals that
JDR stopped studying basketball when Jordan retired. So they just say things off narratives, but they don't say things based off real facts.
That's not true, because most of the JDRs are Brian fans now.
No, they're not. Most of JDRs hate LeBron.
They just didn't like when he went to. They liked him when he was in Cleveland, but they ain't like him in Miami. Because it's like he moved the goalposts.
I think both sides have their good and their bad. I think there are bad LeBron fans and good LeBron fans. I think there are good Jordan fans and bad Jordan fans.
See, J-Mar even agrees. Hold on, I didn't get this dude's comment. Where did it go? His comment was weird. Rock and Rollin' says, and salute Rock and Rollin', I haven't seen you here before. He says Steph is a small guy. Magic, MJ, LeBron built like slaves.
What the fuck kind of nigga tweaking?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I mean, I just can laugh at it, man. I don't know what to say to that one.
I mean, slaves were historically built big, but like still, that's a weirdo comment.
I don't even know if that's true. I don't even know if that's true.
And that's another reason why Steph in the top 10. His size. He's doing it at his size.
He's doing it at that size. Sixers Daily was good. You got to pull up Sixers Daily. Sixers Daily. I've been wanting to get with you, man. We got to link and collab and do some stuff off of YouTube, man. You got to come on the panel so I can give you my information, man. Because you going crazy on IG, man. We gotta do something. We got to collab. IG Live something. Yeah, Sixers Daily, man. Make sure y'all go check them out on Instagram. All you got to type in is Sixers Daily. Go follow the man. He got a great channel over there. Not much to talk about in Sixers land right now, other than they got to deal with the James Harden headache. But
damn,
we're trying to get rid of Max.
Roast that nigga.
Oh, so if you and GTM basketball, you said say the cards again. GTM, we got a Kobe framed picture and autograph. We have a Kobe Jordan combo frame picture and autograph combo. That just came in from Sports Integrity. And then we got the Tom Brady autograph piece. And then we got the LeBron James. This is tops. And then we got the LeBron James refractor set autographed right here. And again, $1 per entry. Yes, you can do multiple entries. Just make sure you send the cash apps separately, or at least you specify how you want your raffle money to get divvied up once you send it in. But on the 25th, we're going to have people from Sports Integrity over there. He says, yeah, each raffle entry is $1. Each raffle entry is $1. And if you want 10 entries on each one, you can do that as well. But we're going to do the drawing live. So we have like a kind of a generator. We throw all the names into. We're going to put it up on the screen. We're gonna have the computer select the winners. King of Pendragon, he says, Steph played with KD. He says, Steph played with KD. Yet these retarded fangirls are drooling over him. Insanity. I know.
KD has yet to win anything.
Does that mind sexualize it or not?
So that's one of the things that we've seen make Steph great. We saw him win a trip in 2015 without a KD. We saw him win with KD because we've seen players struggle alongside other great players.
Right, we see him have the greatest record in the NBA without KD.
And then when they fall off for 2 years, nobody thinks they can get back to what they were. He has his team one game away from getting back to the finals without a KD, and your man KD is sitting at home because he couldn't get out the first round.
Big facts.
So he has a history of being able to win in multiple circumstances. So what you said right there about KD is something that, if you actually put it into context, is actually another notch on his belt. Because Kyrie, who's been to the finals, can't do nothing with KD right now.
Facts.
Right.
So this is a team that was predicted to get to the finals. Nobody picked the Warriors to get to the finals this year.
Right, other than me.
Oh, well, I mean, you might have, but I'm just saying, like, that's how you know what he said is pure hate. It's just pure hate for Steph Curry. It's not based out of any logic.
And then when you bring it up for LeBron, he had this and this. They say, oh, he ain't had nobody, but he had this and this player.
Hold on.
He played with more talent than
Hopefully I say your name right. Hopefully I said your name right. If I said it wrong, you can hit the link and come on the panel. Because I want to make sure I say everybody's name correct. He says, where do you have Kobe ranked? I got Kobe ranked at 11, behind Oscar Robinson. Got Oscar Robinson at 10. A lot of people gave me a lot of pushback on that.
Yeah, and they were wrong. Kobe's not top 10.
I just wasn't willing to elevate Kobe simply because he passed.
You can't name 10 players better than Kobe.
A lot of people. It's not about
players better than Kobe.
But you know what? I can name 10 players who use their talent to amass better careers.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him.
Oh.
You got your reason. I'm talking about this guy. You can't name 10 players better than Kobe.
I can easily name 10 players better than Kobe. I can name 15 better players than Kobe, honestly. Shit, Jordan, LeBron, Hakeem, Duncan.
Hakeem's not better than him.
Hakeem was better than Kobe. Stop it. Duncan was better than Kobe. Duncan was better than Kobe. Bird, Magic.
Kobe beat Duncan more than he beat him, bro.
That's a cap. How many times did he beat? How many times did he beat Duncan without Shaq?
Bro, he beat him more without Shaq than we did with Shaq.
That's cap.
It's not cap.
Bring up the numbers then. Bring up the numbers.
Fan, bro.
Bring up the numbers.
Like, what are you talking about? He swept that man.
Goddamn, GTM.
What year did he do that?
GTM, you don't have to send each individually.
Hakeem is not better than Kobe.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Hakeem,
He got the same amount of Finals MVPs.
No,
you do the comparison on numbers. Kobe blows him out the water, except for rebounds and blocks. Everything else, he blows him out the water, bro.
That's different positions, though.
It don't matter.
It do matter. It do matter.
What's your favorite player?
That's not context.
That is context. Hakeem is better than Kobe. Duncan is better than Kobe. Will Chamberlain. Curry. Shit, honestly, Isaiah Thomas is better than Kobe, to be honest.
Ain't just saying anything.
No, bro, you capping right there.
No,
man.
no, no,
I'm
no.
not even
Like,
gonna
look,
God, man.
Come on, look. We
No,
just
bro.
talked about.
No.
We
I'm not
just
talking
talked
to him
about.
for the rest of the
Hey,
mankind.
listen. Just listen.
Let's hear this out. Hold on. Let's hear this out.
We just talked about how Curry. Part of what makes Curry so great is what he's doing at his size. Isaiah Thomas is one of the greatest players at his size to ever play. You can't name a better 6 foot. Can't name a better.
That still don't add up to Kobe. That don't add up to Kobe.
Isaiah's not better than fucking Kid, bro.
Yes, he is, bro. He's better than
He's better than Kid.
Who?
He's not better than Kid, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And plus, he beat greats in the finals, bro. Kobe really did.
Kid started that fucking triple doubles guard shit. Every night on Sports Center.
Hey man, whoever said that, man, the chat gonna be on you. Andrew Lynch. I ain't seen Andrew Lynch ever say anything in the chat. I don't recall his name, but he had to jump in and say, he said, motherfucker just said Isaiah better than Kobe, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna have all types of people. They might be clipping that audio, everything, Ralph.
The Bulls said that, not me. I'm a Kobe fan.
King KO said this dumb argument again. Kobe 5-2, LeBron 3-6-1. But what does that have to do with being a better player, having a better career? Again, just yelling out somebody's finals output. No context. No context in that. See, because again, this is that stats or fact logic. This is a stat. Is the stat true? But does the stat bring context? Does this stat truly explain who the better player is? No, it doesn't. That's why stats aren't facts. Because this stat can be misconstrued the same way King KO has done it. Because King KO is what? An avid LeBron James hater. And he comes up with bad talking points that he will never come on the panel to defend. Salute to Mr. Skinny TV. Pull it up here. Skinny, man, you got to get up here, man. We're talking about the LeBron James haters.
This guy really said Isaiah better than Kobe, bro.
And look, you gotta start looking. Hold on, this is Kobe threw a 3-1 lead. Yeah, LeBron wouldn't. But see, when you start saying weird stats like the finals record, you open Pandora's box for everybody to just start misconstruing other stats that can be perceived as factual, but people can blow them off and take them out of context, and it don't look so good for Kobe when you do it in other areas.
It's tough.
He says Lamont blocked the fake baller's life with the football picture. Hold on. But how you know is
and Brown got swept in the finals. Kobe.
You said it's
Come on, bro.
Henderson.
Please don't say that.
Twice.
Oh shit.
Don't say that, bro.
Henderson.
Oh shit. See, I done woke this man up.
Bro.
You
You
can't
really
believe
just say that.
Hey, salute. Hey, Ralph, man, these niggas crazy, bro. Salute the man, bro. Salute. Hey, Lamont, man, you on one with this title, man. You and these titles, a motherfucker, man.
Hold on, what did I say that was wrong?
Nah, it's just a question about top 5 Curry and all that, man. That's crazy.
No, I thought you came in here because dude said Isaiah Thomas is better than Kobe all the time.
Ooh.
Some nigga.
Duh. I'm gonna let him get his IQ together.
Hold on, Lamont. I'm still confused. With that whole Oscar Robertson being top 10, bro. That was interesting. I wanted to hear that.
You hear my logic?
Yeah, why he was top 10.
Well, statistically, I believe with regards to innovating the game, doing something that changed the game forever, made people look at basketball in a different light. The triple doubles for multiple seasons, averaging a triple double for multiple seasons, being able to carry his team statistically like that. With even back then, people were saying the same thing. Can't win like that, this, that, and the other. And nobody was putting his numbers into context based on the lack of personnel that he had around him. A lot of the teams that he was playing on wasn't even supposed to be getting to the playoffs.
Who?
We're talking about Oscar.
Oh man, come on, Lamont. Stop this about Oscar, man. Come on,
Oscar.
man.
No.
I was asking him a question. I was asking.
What I'm saying is, to me, when I look at what he did statistically, and what he did throughout his whole career, with accolades, achievements, all that, I think he deserves. That's well deserved. Now, I've already admittedly told people that there is a little bias there, right? Because he went to my high school or my middle school. So again, I have a closer affinity there because that's just everybody's natural bias. So I can at least admit that right there. That's why he's there 10 over Kobe. Now, for other people, they might not have him in the top 10, but I can admit there's a little bias there.
Man, come on, man. Stop this, man. Just stop this, man. Listen, man. Oscar Robertson was missing the playoffs with niggas averaging 15, 17, 4 different people on his team. He in his prime missed the playoffs for 3 straight years in a row. And while he was averaging those triple doubles, when he finally did win his first championship, he was the third best player on the team because Bob Dandridge was the second and Kareem was the first. Okay, so we need to stop all this, man. Oscar numbers mostly ain't accumulating to championship winners and all that, man. Stop this, man. Niggas need to put the full context on these numbers, man. Cause numbers without context don't come back valid.
But SFM, you were trying to either a seedling basketball fan about Oscar, and then when he started doing the research and he saw that Oscar was playing on teams that was injury riddled, he kind of exposed you that day, man. That was on a smaller platform. I don't think not too many people might not have saw it.
You're talking about Amir.
Yeah, he got you that day.
No,
he caught you in the street bad.
He didn't. Because all the other years he had to make up. He had to make up for all the other years, man. Stop it. Go check out Jerry Lucas and go see what Jerry Lucas was averaging while outside of Bob then. Bob McAdoo.
But if you talk about missing the playoffs in your prime or getting bounced out, Hakeem did that multiple years in a row, getting bounced out by weak teams, coming up short, all this stuff, quitting on his team. He had those same problems. But you still probably have him in your top 10.
Listen, do you know who was truly better than Oscar Robertson in that era? All right, nah, he didn't play in that era, I think. But to me, Bob McAdoo was better than Oscar Robertson. And prime Bob McAdoo. I don't give a damn with nobody.
I can't knock that. Bob McAdoo was great.
But Bob McAdoo played in the 70s. You said it was Oscar played in the 60s.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I think Bob Dedger's prime was a better player. I mean, not Bob Dedger. Bob McAdoo.
I don't know if I'll put him now over Oscar, but Bob McAdoo was a beast.
I mean, we overrating Oscar, man. Oscar was a great man.
What you mean Almost every basketball mind has him somewhere between 10 to 15.
Nah, man, I don't got him.
You won't find a list that has him outside the top 20.
I don't got him top 15. Man.
I'm saying you'd be hard pressed to find a list. If you could find me a list with him not in the top 20, I'll be amazed. He's and especially not in the top 15. Like he's gonna be up there. Now, where you put him between 10 to 15, I don't really care.
Well, he already out my probably top 20 because I got Kawhi Leonard. I got Kawhi Leonard over him.
No, bro, Kawhi Leonard's not over no Oscar Robinson, man. Stop.
Yes, he is.
No,
yes,
he's not, bro.
That's him.
You talk, and they had the nerve to call people street clothes, like AD. That's the ultimate street clothes.
No. Let's do it. Career. Who had a better career?
Oscar.
Two-time Finals MVP.
That's because
two-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Problem. You've already set an award that wasn't even accessible to Oscars at parts of his career.
He wasn't gonna get it anyway.
You could say that, but it wasn't even accessible for him because it didn't exist. When you look at defensive teams, the majority of the time when he played, there was no defensive teams. So again, you're going to say a whole bunch of accolades.
And
you're going to say a whole bunch of accolades that he can't. It ain't attainable for him. So you can't compare the unattainable to the attainable.
And Oscar was considered the best perimeter defender in the 60s, along with Jerry West.
Jerry West was making first team.
Were considered the best perimeter defender. I'm trying to say.
Jerry West was making first team.
Yeah, in the 70s, yeah.
All right. Jerry West was making it to the finals while he was missing the playoffs for 3 years in a row.
So you give Jerry West credit for getting to the finals.
Jerry West was at least making it to the playoffs.
Which back then, all you had to do was win one playoff series to get to
Jerry
the
West was at least made it to the playoffs.
But that was Elgin. But hold on, Elgin Baylor was the leader when on the team with Jerry West, though. When they was making it to the finals.
Did Elgin Baylor win a ring with Jerry West, or did Jerry West win a ring without Elgin Baylor?
he wanted.
Technically, Elgin got the ring,
and it was when Will Chamberlain joined.
Elgin got a ring and ain't play.
Okay, right, but I'm saying they got the ring when Will Chamberlain joined. It wasn't just Jerry West getting the ring.
He said, "This the real
man." Listen, man, Jerry West, man. Listen, man, Jerry West is better than Oscar, man. Like, what are we talking about?
Hey, look, it's not. Remember what I said, y'all. It's not about. It's like somebody said in the chat. Kawhi's a better defender. I believe Kawhi Leonard is a better defender than probably 99% of the players in NBA history.
Right.
The problem is if you're not able to utilize that defense, even due to injury, it's hard for me to place you above other people because, again, your career has taken a lot of major hits because you have major gaps because of injuries. Kawhi Leonard really didn't blossom until year 3, 4? I don't know when. He was playing behind a lot of great players for a while, and he was in a great defensive system. When he was finally able to blossom, then he started experiencing a myriad of injuries. So it's hard for me to just elevate him when we haven't seen a nice stretch of time when Kawhi Leonard's been at his peak. When he's at his peak, he's nice.
He wasn't even the best player on the court.
But no longevity. Hold on, Sixers Daily, what's good?
You got that Iggy type shit.
What's good? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. What's good, man?
What's up, man? Not much.
What you got on this conversation, man? I know you got a lot going on in Philly with the James Harden situation.
Yeah, we not even going to touch on that right now. But I mean, what was it? What was I talking about? Steph Curry?
Just Curry, and look, it's not even about putting Steph Curry in your top 10. I'm saying when are people going to give him a fair shake as far as even the consideration? Because some people are just shutting it out, saying it's not even nothing to talk about. But I think it is something to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like it's a real discussion about Steph Curry like being up there with the other players because I feel like people they don't want to admit when current players can kind of be in the conversation with older players like a Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, and I feel like people are more reluctant to throw players like Steph Curry in that conversation, especially if he wins another one this year. I think he's definitely over Magic Johnson. That's just me though.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said if he wins let's say he wins that elusive Finals MVP because the way it's trending right now, if they win the championship, I promise you he gets Finals MVP. And if they win it with that added to his resume, he's gonna pass up a whole bunch of people.
Facts. And I feel like you got to take it into context because the team he had with Kevin Durant, that falling off and coming back with a different core and leading them to another championship, that's pretty remarkable.
MLE says he's in his top 10, so MLE already got some up there. Patrick Wilson says Steph Curry gets another ring this year. He's definitely top 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Some people got a little sense in here, at least as far as the consideration. I just don't like to see people's list, and they feel like their list is you can't nobody get supplanted. Magic can't move. I think when we really start to look to moving around these lists, I think Magic and Bird. It might be some of the first two. You might have to start moving around.
Definitely Bird for sure.
I don't have no problem considering him top 10. Like I don't have a problem with that consideration. I mean I definitely don't agree with that little daily take about the whole him over Magic thing. But
the problem with Steph moving into your top 10 is that generally he's going to bump somebody else out.
Right.
That somebody else is usually at the bottom of most people's 10s. You have the Kobe's, you have the Hakeems, you have the Shaqs. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that's going to get bumped out, and that's where the real debates start.
Yeah, that's something I don't have a problem putting people in the top 10. I just usually like wait, a decent amount of time before I decide to move people because I feel like I don't want to judge prematurely. But he played 13 seasons, so I think that's a solid amount of time to start considering that.
Who's that? Steph?
Curry. He played 13 seasons, but that's a solid amount of time to care. I was just saying like a couple months ago, somebody was talking about Luka because he had like scored like a 40-point game, like one or two 40-point games, and they gave him the record for like highest points per game in the playoffs. But I kept telling people we haven't even like we could probably wait like 10 years and come back to that conversation and see what his point per game is then versus just judging prematurely because it did drop. It did drop back down, and it is him being second. But I'm saying we shouldn't don't just jump the gun. Is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. With players, that's all I'm trying to say.
It's all facts. Andrew Lynch, he says, AG, the great, you're right, Kawhi is above his level. else we got? What did AG the Great say? He said Westbrook. So this is an indication when you hear the word. This is also something we didn't discuss today, y'all. When you hear the word stat padding, that's another sign that you might be a JDR or LeBron hater. Because stat padding in the NBA, in a game where everybody's played to do everything, there's no such thing as stat padding. All right, unless you're just absolutely in the game and other teams up by 40 and you're in the last minute trying to score points, which I also don't care because sometimes we've seen people need to hit certain contractual obligations. So they might stay in, try to hit that extra 3 for 200 grand. I don't mind if you're trying to do that. But again, stat padding is fake. Stat padding is what people try to say when they don't understand how a player was able to accomplish something.
Wait, for that comment,
I don't know.
About,
I think stat padding is an overused term, but I don't know if it's like a mythical term. I mean,
no, it's not mythical.
Will Chamberlain was really like
it's not common.
Is he referring about what's?
No, I'm just saying like it was heavily prevalent because of the whole Will Chamberlain situation in the six like that people clearly weren't just making stuff up. Like the people actually analyzed the game was saying he was doing things.
Yeah, but this dude specifically correlated Westbrook to stat padding.
But the thing is, Westbrook needed to get those numbers in OKC for the.
They weren't blowing people out in OKC. That team was probably not even supposed to make the playoffs.
Especially after KD left, he needed to reach those numbers for them to even make the playoffs because they had no one else on that roster that could be capable of. It's
the other team's job to stop you. That's the thing. Whether it's start to finish, they get paid to stop you. And even at the end of games, where everything's meaningless, the bench guys that are in are still playing for a job. They're still trying to showcase their skills. They're still trying to do things to vie for more playing time. They're not just out there doing nothing. So it's still not easy, even if you're in at the end of the game situations. The other team is paid to stop you. It's your job to stop them. I just don't get. I think it's overused, and I think you guys remember when I think it was Ricky Davis, when he went to the complete other side of the court just to throw the ball off the rim, grab a rebound, and make sure he got his triple-double. That's not even within the scope of competition. That's stat padding to me, which that's why I say it's rare to see true stat padding in this age.
Yeah, just because you can make something like that look effortless doesn't mean that's stat padding. That just shows the greatness of Russell Westbrook, honestly.
Well, people want to find reasons to say he's not great. So the only reason you can say those numbers is not great is to try to label those numbers with stat padding. So they're going to look at the one or two games where maybe we see Steven Adams boxing somebody out, allowing Russ to grab the rebound, and they're going to say he did that on every rebound all season, and that's why he got the rebounds. Like, come on, man.
It's different for a guard to get a rebound, bro. Especially his size. That's why it was amazing when Kidd used to get them triple doubles like that.
But you know what? If you actually, here's the crazy thing about it. I feel like Jason Kidd's still a better rebounder, point guard than Russ. In the averages, I don't even need to see the averages. Because Jason Kidd played in an era where far less three-pointers were being shot.
Right.
And the long rebounds weren't always there. He was really having to go in, have a real strong nose for the ball, and get good rebounds, as opposed to Russ is playing in an era where he a lot of times gets out of defensive position to go chase rebounds. So he's putting his team in a very compromising position. And a lot of these rebounds are long rebounds that generally float out the guards because most teams are chucking up a lot of threes. So, I mean, there's context you can put to it if you do it the right way, but not a lot of people are going to try to really, truly put the right context to it. They're just going to try to use it to denigrate his game.
Hey, Lamont.
Yo.
It's a little off topic, but how do you feel about James Harden?
Oh, man. So, James Harden to me is – so, I'm not – as a hooper, I'm not on James Harden level. This is not what I'm trying to say. But I'm the type of player when just a little bit of my fitness and conditioning goes, my game is completely in the garbage can because my game was never predicated or based off true athleticism, but I did need that little burst that I had, right? The little athleticism that I did have, I needed it to either get my quick shots off or get to the rim and finish those things. So I think this year might be one of the first years where we saw he didn't take his conditioning as serious as he has in the past. That clearly showed. I think the hamstring injury really took away because when your hamstring hurts, the first thing to go is your burst, is your ability to accelerate and initially get by guys. James Harden completely lost that this year. He couldn't get past anybody, right? So he could use that body to get that extra inch for a layup. He could never get his shot off quick enough because his legs weren't right. Everything looked slow that he did, or at least a step slow. So I believe James Harden next year is probably going to have one of the best years of his career. But right now, a lot of people are down on him because of what we last saw. So I just think it's a combination of different things, and also the bad look stemming from how he left Houston and Brooklyn. But I think one strong offseason, if he locks in, he'll be back to being James Harden.
Facts.
I mean, you still don't want to guard him when the coach is like, you got to check James Harden tonight. It's like you still got to worry to a certain degree. It's still James Harden.
Yeah, especially with another year of Tyrese Maxey and Embiid.
I don't know. I've been hearing that there's been some slight clashes with them two in the locker room.
Wait, Maxey or Embiid?
Well, Maxey and Harden.
They said Max is the only one untouchable.
Maxey's untouchable, but I've been hearing there's friction between him and Harden in that locker room.
Yeah, it was this season because he ruined their chemistry, man. Damn, what's that?
SFM, you got the background noise. Hold on, we got Andrew Lynch just pulled up. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? I just got in here a few minutes ago, but I see the video title says is Steph Curry a top 5 player of all time?
Yeah.
Like I'm cool if people want to say he's in the debate for top 10. I think that's debatable, but top 5 to me is just a major stretch. So is anybody in here actually arguing that, or you just put that as a title?
No, I put top 5 because the potential is still there because he's still writing his book. He's still playing. Like, let's say the Warriors miraculously, I know this won't happen. Let's say they haul off a 3-peat and he gets 2 more finals MVPs. If that happens, and that's possible, at least can happen because he's still actually playing, as opposed to other players who they're retired and their books are completely written. We know what their careers were. Steph has amassed all of this stuff. He could still win a championship this year, possibly a finals MVP. He's still adding to what is already great. And I feel
right, but he. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying.
I want
to say, I think so far the things that he's done, he's passed up a lot of people that a lot of people don't want to bump out of their top 10 due to nostalgia.
No, I agree with that. But when you say, is he top 5, to me, I'm reading that in the present tense. Like, is he top 5 right now? And I don't think there's really a debate. Now, if we want to say, could it change? Absolutely, it could change. We can have that discussion at a later date when those accomplishments you're talking about come to fruition. But as of right now, I just don't even think it's worth a debate talking about top 5. You want to talk top 10.
Is it okay to project?
5, I can't go there.
You can
project, but it's still got to come to fruition.
But didn't they project didn't they project in '93 when they labeled Jordan as the GOAT before his career was over?
I wasn't even alive in '93, man. So I'm going off.
That's a different story, though.
No, I'm just saying they projected the end.
That was they weren't projecting that he would have been the GOAT in the future. They were saying that he was the GOAT.
They were saying he was the GOAT.
Right. That wasn't a projection. That was a labeling right there.
But at that time in his career, he truly wasn't.
He was who was
debatable. He already had.
Debate.
He had the highest player efficiency rating of all time. He had the highest.
They didn't use analytics back then.
At the time,
analytics ain't come out to early 2000s.
Hold on. At the time, the reason he was
those stats are measured, bro. You can look up the stats for all these.
Who's been called for
Will Chamberlain, Michael Jordan. They may not have gotten attention to the 2000s, but these stats.
What I'm saying is, we're using those stats now, but they weren't using PER in '93.
But the reason...
Okay, he had the highest points per game of all time in '93. You want to use basic stats they were using back then? He already had the highest points per game, highest playoff points per game.
So hold on. But the reason is because by 1993, he had already... they had ran out of arguments to use against him. That's why they started calling...
He wasn't the GOAT in '93, man.
Huh?
He was not the GOAT. He did not pass Bill Russell in 93.
He did not do what?
He did not pass Wilt in 93. He didn't do enough by 93.
How did he not pass
But
Wilt?
they thought he did.
Hang on.
I don't even know if he passed Bird in 93.
How did he not pass?
If the people analyze the game,
They had more. They did more than him.
At that point, he had already had his offensive and defensive.
It was the second three-peat that felt elevated him over all these guys. I think they projected.
It was the
I
second.
disagree.
There's no way one three-peat makes you the GOAT.
It was the second three-peat.
You gonna let me respond, or you just gonna talk?
No, go ahead, Andrew.
Go ahead.
All right. So by 93, you said Larry Bird. So I'm gonna stick on that one first. He already had 3 NBA MVPs. That's as many as Larry Bird won in his whole career. He already had 3 championships. That's as many as Larry Bird won in his whole career. He had the highest points per game in NBA history. He had the highest points per game playoff in NBA history.
He didn't have the highest points per game in NBA history.
Wilt still had all them records, bro.
Jordan has a
higher
PG than Wilt.
Hold on. You said no. Hold on. Are you talking about for a career or are you talking about for a season?
I'm talking career.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have that back then, bro.
I don't think
And
he had
then
it
Jordan
in
in 93. Hold on. Jordan in 93, he averaged 41 points per game in the finals. Nobody's ever averaged 41 in the finals before or since. So to come off that three-peat when he had a Defensive Player of the Year, I don't see how he didn't have an argument over Larry Bird. Wilt Chamberlain, he already won 3 championships. Wilt Chamberlain only won 2.
You can't beat a GOAT in 9
It wasn't
bro.
predicated the championship.
What are you talking about? Who accomplished more than him in that short amount of time?
Can I address the situation?
Yeah, go ahead, X-Man. Go ahead.
He definitely didn't accomplish more than Bill Russell.
Hold on, but here's the point.
On championships,
the reason he was called
Hakeem.
Hold on.
I mean,
Kareem.
Hakeem had
He said Kareem.
bro.
Hold on. Let me hold on.
Go ahead. Let me talk.
So the reason was because they had ran. So just like many other players like LeBron and all them, people start advocating to put them in a GOAT conversation, right? But he wasn't unanimously seen as the GOAT, and there were arguments against him. There was offensive and defensive arguments against him. There was MVPs against him. There was championships against him. By 93, he had already silenced all those critics. He had already won all his offensive and defensive accolades. He had already gotten MVPs. He had already proved himself as a winner. So they ran out of arguments to use against him. All the second three-peat did was cement what they were already saying in 93. It cemented it even further in people's minds.
They projected.
That's not even true. They
hold up.
The word GOAT came from Jordan.
Because if you're honest about it, and this is only if you truly are honest. The reason why he's the GOAT now is heavily weighed on his 6-0 in the finals. He was not 6-0 in the finals.
Not to me.
I'm talking about just general consensus. General consensus wise, he's ultimately labeled the GOAT in many eyes. Just general consensus across the world because of that 6-0. That 6 rings will never be touched. 3-0 was something that a whole bunch of players. 3-0 in the finals is something a ton of players have done in NBA history. Because people were struggling to make Bill Russell the GOAT, and he had 11 of them things.
Right, but that's what I just said. I just said
people were making Magic the GOAT. That's 5.
Hold on, I just said that the second three-peat made it even more unanimous. That's what I'm just saying.
He's talking about 93. He's talking about 93.
Was there ever a time where everyone, at any time before the Jordan started to evolve into who he was, did anybody say that Magic was the GOAT at any time?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it was Magic and Bird. They was in a conversation.
And then nobody say Magic was the GOAT.
I didn't say he was the universal GOAT. There was arguments between Magic and Bird.
No, I don't think they ever.
Nobody said Bird was the GOAT.
Ever said better than Kareem? Yeah, no, but I never heard anything.
It was Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. They didn't even say Kareem yet. It was just them two. Go back and do y'all history. It was Wilt and Bill.
All right. I mean, okay.
Now, look, we know Jordan was great in that run, but you're talking about a very, very small sample size to label somebody the GOAT. It wasn't until the second three-peat that it was supplanted, where he really started getting elevated. I know
undisputed, but people were saying
I thought it was.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was the true JDRs in '93, the fanboys, the nostalgia. But the true basketball minds elevated them at 6 after the 6-0, and not just because of the 6-0.
Right.
He's not the GOAT because of the 6-0. That's the weakest argument you can use.
Nobody's saying that.
Right.
No, that's
what I'm saying is he's not the GOAT after first 3 championships, even though that was a great accomplishment. It wasn't something that we hadn't seen.
So how many players were 3-0?
The points that he was scoring wasn't something that we hadn't seen. We saw Wilt do that.
Not in the play.
Not over a career.
The winning wasn't something we had.
That's not true.
The winning was something we saw the winning.
That's
we
not
saw
true.
the winning with Bill.
Will did not do that in the playoffs.
We saw the flash. We saw the flash with Magic.
No, he didn't.
That's not true.
We saw the consistency with Bird. Everything that Jordan had done, it wasn't like they hadn't seen it up until that point.
They hadn't seen all that at once.
Bird didn't reach.
Hold on, they hadn't seen all that at once. That's what you're missing.
No, I'm not talking. I said certain aspects of what Jordan did.
Right, but all
we
those
saw that
not in one person.
Right, but not in one. That's what made Michael Jordan.
Bro,
different.
Jordan was not.
This man averaged 37.
Are you telling me?
His second year. What is y'all?
Are you saying if Jordan would have retired in '93, you would have been comfortable with saying that he was better than Kareem?
No, I'm saying if that would have happened, it would have been a legitimate argument.
You would not. No, it would not be a legitimate argument.
How would that not be a legitimate argument?
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
It would not be close.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Will averaged 37 and 23 rebounds.
I'm saying you're not listening to
second year in the playoffs.
I'm so busy fucking talking, can't even fucking say shit.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
I'm saying I was saying that if he retired in '93, there would have been a legitimate argument for Kareem over Michael Jordan. That's what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not saying it was a legitimate argument for Michael Jordan.
My question to you. Hold on, my question to you.
I was agreeing with Lamont.
No, my question is this, because you said he had shown enough by '93 to be the GOAT. If he would have retired, stayed retired, and never came back, would he still be the GOAT today? Because if he'd have done everything he needed by '93, which Jordan even said, I have nothing left to prove. If he never came back, would he still be the GOAT?
You could. Probably not. That's what I'm saying.
He would not. You couldn't put him over. You couldn't put him over Bill Russell, Kareem. You couldn't put him over. It'd be hard. You couldn't put him over Magic or maybe even Bird.
That's the point that I'm saying.
How could you not put him over Magic and Bird?
You couldn't put him over Magic. After the first three, you couldn't put him over Magic.
I could.
Why?
Was he a better player? Was he a better player? Yes.
I could.
Remember, it's not about being a better player. We know Jordan was always going to be the better player than Magic. But it's not about the best player. It's about what you do with that talent to make out on a career. Jordan's career wasn't complete until he got 6-0. That's what made him the GOAT. And it was the things that he did, those small trials, those small victories, the things that he did as far as the defense. Those are the things that helped make him the GOAT. It wasn't just the winning.
So he wasn't the GOAT till '98, in your opinion?
No, he wasn't the GOAT till he was done playing.
He wasn't.
So after the Wizards?
Once he was done playing, that's when I feel like and then we have a complete picture to look at. Then we can really analyze what he did amongst everybody else, the impact over a long period of time. Even if you could even take the Wizards years at 40 years old and be like, man, he was doing this at 40 years old. So there's even some positives you can take out of the Wizards years, even though they were losing. But
he wouldn't have been all-time scorer without them Wizard years.
But his career wasn't locked in until he was done.
He wasn't third all-time scoring without them Wizard years, dog.
He's not third all-time right now. What are you talking about?
Because of Kobe and LeBron. I'm talking about when he was playing. Why y'all keep adding modern day history?
Right, but it's not like he was
going back. Y'all sound dumb as fuck. You see what they doing, LeBron? Lamont?
I know. You called.
Why would that have changed anything? He wasn't. That wouldn't. It's not like he was first.
Yeah,
like,
that is.
Him to first.
No, that's just a longevity.
That shit helped them out.
How?
The Wizard years helped them pass out Wilt Chamberlain and the rest of the guys.
Right, but it didn't elevate him to first.
Not an all-time ranking.
All it did was fuck up, lower his fucking averages.
Yeah, that's all it did.
That would only work if it raised him up to number one.
No,
raising him up to number 3 isn't shit. That's just raising him up to number 3. You care about people being number 1, not third.
Yeah, he probably about to start sitting in here saying Karl Malone's top 5 all time. He's number 2 on that scoring list.
They literally disregarding the Wizard years, but
I'm not disregarding the Wizard year. I'm saying
no one's disregarded anything. What are you
I'm not
talking
disregarding.
about?
I'm saying your argument was stupid as hell. That's all I'm saying.
That's not stupid. It helped. It helped elevate his scoring all time.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Made him the third. What the fuck?
I guess Jordan should sign himself back on the Hornets, man.
So,
And
yeah,
score
so
a few
he can
points.
elevate
And
some
according to this dude, it would help his resume.
Hey, man, Lee, you got to hit the link. Hey, man, Lee, you got to help him.
No, man.
Elevate him the third. What the bro? Okay.
Yeah, man, Lee, you got to come break it down for him.
I'm gonna give y'all a third place ribbon tomorrow and see how y'all feel about that shit.
Hey, get that bronze medal, bro.
Yeah, get that. What the fuck? before his Wizard years, he was like a lot higher in points per game, like noticeably number one. Now
And a better field.
Yeah, but the thing is, again, if you understood his career, you wouldn't just simply run to points per game to use that as a strong talking point to say.
I'm responding to the dude who's talking about his total.
I'm saying what I said with Washington was, you can look at those years and say, as a 40-year-old, he still had a lot in the tank, more than a lot of players. He was that even showed a level of his greatness, even in those Wizards years. So even without winning, there are certain things that you can take from his game and say, these are some of the things that are going to make him the GOAT when he's done playing.
And he improved his improved the team's defense as well.
That much.
And he improved.
But nobody's disagreeing on that.
And he improved the team's defense dramatically.
MLE, man, I saw you disagreeing in the chat, man. What you got on that?
He's crazy, man. Dude really said that shit hurt him. Like, it's total points on an all-time list. You saying if it didn't make him number one, it hurt him, bro. He not number one in rebounds. He not number one in points. He not number one in assists. He not number one in steals. What the fuck is you talking about? He top 5 in all-time scoring at the time. He was top 3. How is that hurting him?
Thank you.
This the ideology of
who are you arguing with? Nobody's disagreeing.
I'm not arguing with anybody. I just said whoever said
Andrew, that's how stupid they are that they arguing against shit that they can't even pay attention to. They can't even pay attention to what they arguing against.
That shit was dumb.
Fucking idiots.
That shit was
dumb.
Moved
him up, bro.
Hold on, y'all. Let MLE cook. Y'all let him cook.
I don't know who said it. I don't care who said it. I heard somebody say it, and it was dumb. Flat out. It don't matter who said it. Nigga, it was stupid. It's an all-time scoring list. The fuck? He made number 3 when he did that.
Well, nobody said it, so thank you for that irrelevant ass point.
Y'all two did say that shit.
No, we didn't say it. Try paying attention.
You said, wow, he's third.
Try paying attention. Y'all
did say, hold on. If I'm being fair,
he's third.
Y'all did say that.
MLE, hold on. Let
you said what? I'm confused. What's even arguing?
Y'all did bring up over total points for a career.
Right. You said it didn't help him because it didn't make him number one.
Right.
MLE.
Thank you.
MLE literally just came in arguing that we said that him playing.
I didn't say we. Him. I said whoever said it.
You said somebody said it. Nobody said
it was
that
dumb as shit. I said most of the shit that y'all been saying been dumb.
Nobody said that him playing on the Wizards hurt his total points. Nobody said that shit, bro.
Yes, he did.
Yes, the fuck.
Nobody said that.
He did say that.
Scoring average.
He did say that.
JDR shit, my nigga.
JDR points per game.
X-Men, he did say that.
That's what I said. I said it hurt his points per game. I didn't say it hurt his total points.
You said if it ain't making him number one, it hurt him. Who cares about number 3?
Nobody said it hurt him.
Nobody said that.
Number one.
You said if it's not making him. All right, rewind.
I don't know. It sounds like y'all kind of finessing a little bit. Y'all got
trying to, but you can't finesse.
They like the fucking Mega Twins.
Ignorant ass fucking.
Look, even the chat saying y'all said
it. Thank you, Murby. Niggas lying.
One of y'all fucking mouth and pay attention. Y'all wouldn't be this confused.
Look, they bad as shit. Nigga, this shit on recorded.
Nobody's gonna run their mouth and they get angry because they don't know what the fuck is
this shit recorded, my nigga. Like this is the ideology of the video. This is the ideology of the video. He not number one in scoring. All right, he not number one in damn near too many fucking stats for you to try to make that argument. That's why it didn't make sense from the jump. You just trying to hang on to, he got an average of such and such. Like, how many categories is he number one in?
Points per game, PER, OBPM, BBPM, win shares for 48 minutes in the playoffs and regular season. I gave you 4 or 5 categories, man. So what's your response?
4 or 5 categories. How many is they the major categories like rebounds, assists, blocks, steals?
Points per game? That's a major category.
Yeah, you name one. I said how many?
I named you 4 or 5 categories.
What I just said.
PER is not a major category.
You're going to hang on to one. That's not a major category, bro. Stop playing.
But that's
I named you 4 or 5 categories.
Hold on,
bro.
I don't think
you're not listening. You're not
listening.
listening.
Right, he said major.
I don't think anyone has more than one major category.
All right, define major category.
I don't think anyone has more than one major
category.
I
said he ain't number one or top 5 in multiple categories like points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals.
I just said points per game.
I gave you that one.
Total?
I gave you that one before I even started. I gave you that first one.
But again,
I said points per game.
Hold on. How many people are number one in more than one?
That's what I'm saying.
Though? Give me one player.
I said
How
top
many
5.
players are number one in more than
I'm
one major category?
top
Give me
five,
one player.
dumb motherfucker that said, "Well, it's not making them number one, so it didn't
But
matter."
MJ's
It
top
hurt
5
him.
in steals per game too.
What'd you say?
MJ's top 5 in steals per game too.
Yeah, so who the ones brag?
So
I'm talking
that's
about
two,
if
that's
it's
two.
not making them number one, it really didn't matter.
You just
It didn't
said top.
count.
You just said
I
top
didn't
5.
say that. I didn't
What's
say
the
that
five?
shit.
Whoever said that about the points when
This-
the nigga brought up
Nigga,
the
you
total
sitting
points?
there,
Stop
you're
fucking
sitting there
saying
arguing
stupid
with
shit.
yourself at this point. You sitting there talking to such
I'm
a
not
frustrated
arguing with
person. You
anybody.
can't even keep
I'm
up
just
with what
showing
the
you
fuck
how
going on.
stupid you niggas
You
sound.
can't
Right.
even keep up with
He's
what the
showing the
fuck going on.
contradicting y'all.
How if I just said everything you motherfuckers just
Nigga,
said?
you just said top 5. You just said what is he? Other people top 5. I just said he's also top 5 in steals.
I said he's not number one in all these categories. For the one that said,
And
it
I said
didn't make-
nobody else is number
Hold
one
on,
in those
slow down,
categories
Slim.
either.
I'm talking about the
What the
nigga
fuck
who
you just
said
responded?
it's not making him number one, so it don't matter. It hurt him because if he
Nobody
became number
said it
3 and
hurt
didn't
him,
make
though.
him number one. Rewind, the nigga said
Nobody
it.
said it hurt
We done
him.
already
Nobody said it
discovered
hurt
that
him.
part.
Nobody said
But
it
how
hurt
many of those major categories is he number one in? We talking about GOAT since you talking about
Only
being
2.
number one in this and
He's
being
only
number
one. He's
one
only
in
number
that.
one in one of them.
Okay, hold
All
up.
All right,
So hold up.
that's
But again,
my
who
point.
else is
That's right
number?
there.
But again, who else is number one in more than one of those things? Who else is number one in more than one of those things? Those major categories.
I don't know anybody. I don't know.
I don't know.
anybody.
You say he could go because he's number one in this and number one in that.
That's not what I said. That's not why I said he was the GOAT. That's not why I said he was the GOAT. I clearly defined why he was the GOAT.
Why? Because he won 3 rings.
Hold up.
No, what other question? Remember, I gave y'all a new question.
Yeah, he's talking about back in '93.
Remember, I said if Jordan never came back after he retired in '93, would he still be the GOAT? And because you said, because you were trying to make a strong argument for him being the GOAT by '93. So I'm saying, how can you say he's the GOAT in '93 when you still have completed resumes of Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, who's Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, who's at that time,
And look
their
at the chat.
resumes was better.
And look at the chat. I'm responding to all that shit in the chat. I said, look at Kareem's resume at '93. Jordan didn't have a better resume. And
Jordan's resume wasn't close to Kareem's.
Hold up.
You
So
could
do
argue
you
that
think-
you couldn't even put him definitively put him ahead of Bird.
Not
How is
definitively.
he
It'll
not
be
better
neck and
than
neck.
Bird? I'll ask that question.
Yeah,
again.
that's a
I'll ask
good
that
debate.
question
No,
again.
we're talking about in the context of a full career.
93.
By '93, I think that was around when Bird finished.
Right.
His career in '90 from when Bird finished in '93, from Jordan when he started up until '93, his career was not equal to Bird's.
In what way?
So how is he the
In terms of
GOAT?
career stats? Hold on.
I heard somebody say his career was
In
better
terms
than
of
Bird's
career
at that
stats?
time too, though.
In what way, though?
Hold on. Are you saying Jordan versus Bird in career stats at that point in '93?
No, because at that point in time, period, because if we're talking GOAT, everything matters, not just what you want to matter.
Right.
It's overall
I'm not
points per
saying that.
game.
I'm asking you.
Hold on. It's what he did in the early years, even the years he didn't make the playoffs. All this stuff matters. All this matters. Your whole resume versus Jordan's whole resume by that time was not equal to Bird's.
Okay,
just because you can point to a few years where just because you can look at the two players and say Jordan was a better basketball player, it doesn't mean he had up until that point had a better career than Bird. He didn't.
Okay, hold up.
He didn't have a better career.
I just want to talk about Jordan and Bird at '93 then, because y'all brought it up. So I'm asking.
You cannot compare Bird's
career
to Jordan in '93.
MVPs. Hold up. Jordan at '93 had 3 MVPs. Bird had 3 MVPs. They equaled there.
All back.
Jordan at that point
Nobody
had
ever done
7
that.
scoring titles. How many did Bird have in '93?
And he had 6 all defensive first teams. Bird had 3 all defensive second
And he
teams.
had a defensive player of the year. Bird never won that. And he had 3 championships. Bird had 3 championships. He had 3 finals
His
MVPs.
career
Bird never won
wasn't-
3 finals MVPs.
His career wasn't Bird's.
You can't
Why
compare
not?
a finished
Because of the
product to
career
an
stats,
unfinished
bro.
product.
We're
bro.
comparing accolades.
No, bro.
I'm
We have to compare
comparing
careers
accolades side by
because we're
Comparing
going
both
under the
careers.
consideration. We're going. This is all under the
accolades,
pretense that
competition.
that Jordan retired in '93.
But I
we
just
know.
gave you categories
You gotta
that Jordan
add
had
in
already
also
beaten
Bird won
by
in the
93.
I keep telling y'all know
And
that
Jordan
Jordan
won in the '90s after he got the
y'all,
rule change.
y'all know that what made Jordan was the 6-0, being able to get to 6 finals, be 6-0, even if it was against inferior competition. What he did was still great. And then
inferior competition.
Don't
forget about illegal
inferior
defense rules.
Yeah, don't even start that. Don't even start
Back
that.
and forth, flagrant
Let him
fouls.
continue. Go ahead, Lamar. Continue, Lamar.
It was. I mean, it's just.
It is, but we're not
sweeping
dealing with that.
Shaq and Penny is
we're not dealing with your nonsense right now.
I'm making sure I understand this.
Continue your point, please.
Go ahead.
Niggas hate facts.
Continue your point, Lamar.
And even the analytical stuff that y'all been trying to use, a lot of the analytics that y'all still looking at, you know, LeBron's passed Jordan up in a lot of the analytics that the dude mentioned.
Which ones? Which ones? Name them.
They don't matter because
name them. Name them.
Hold on, I can pull it up.
And when they was talking about all time, LeBron all time in playoff points, number 1, and all time in steals.
Because he played more games, bro.
You talking about?
Hold on. That don't make sense now.
He played more games.
Hey, that's another. Hold on, y'all playing more games.
Look at the goalposts.
Hold on, y'all playing more games.
No one's moving any goals.
Right. Ralph, hold on, Andrew and Ralph, hold on.
Per game.
What I'm saying is playing more games is another aspect of your career that might give you a leg up on somebody else. Right. It's just another aspect.
It's not the definitive argument.
Hold on, he didn't say it, but the thing is, it is something that you have to consider. The length of your career. Hold on, because what did they say about LeBron? They say he's had the longest peak or the longest peak than any other player. That's something that you're going to be able to use when you having these arguments when you retire. That's something that you can use. It's actually a viable argument that you can use. Not does it trump everything? No, but it is something that trumps what Jordan did. His peak, or not his peak, but Jordan's peak was higher than LeBron's. But LeBron's prime has lasted longer than Jordan's. Mm-hmm. That's something.
No one's going to disagree with you on that.
So what I'm saying is, when he mentions that, you can't discredit it because it is fact. His prime, he's having the longest prime that we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's facts, but I'm saying.
So what's the point of saying, he played
how many more
games
playoff
when,
games he played?
Anyway, let's get to the analytics.
You told in stats. And
go to the analytics.
Jordan got when he played.
Tell me what
analytics
that LeBron has passed up Jordan. It's the ones that
twins, yo.
You talking about stats and shit that Jordan got when he played longer than other players. So what's the point of discrediting it just because it's LeBron?
What?
What are you talking about?
Anybody discrediting the longevity of LeBron?
I'll get to the analytics.
More
hold on. Let me get to the analytics. Okay, so PER.
I said player efficiency.
Hold on. I'm gonna run through all of them.
Go ahead.
So PER before this year started. Before the year started, it was 27.9 to 27.3. Now that this season was completed, LeBron's PER actually just went up to 27.4. So he's actually neck and neck with Jordan there, 27.9 to 27.4. We can only assume that if he plays another year, especially the way he played last year, and if they get more wins, if they're able to turn it around to any degree next year, and he plays to a similar fashion, his PER will pass Jordan's. But we have to wait and see. Then we go to the next analytic. This is considered the most valuable analytic that you can actually utilize. And this is called value over replacement. Jordan 116.1 to LeBron's 142.3. That's one you didn't mention, but it's funny that you didn't mention the most important, highly used analytic of them all, and that one clearly favors LeBron over Jordan. Right?
Yeah, but hold on 1 second.
Hold on. Let me go. Let me finish.
Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
When you go to win shares, you finessed a little bit when you use the win shares because you use per 48. But in standard win shares, Jordan at 214, LeBron is at 249.5. LeBron outshoots him. Then when we go to other percentages, again, because this plays into your efficiency. True shooting percentage. The true shooting percentage puts into context the amount of threes you take with the amount of 2-pointers you take. Jordan's true shooting percentage 56.9. LeBron's is 58.8, and he shoots far more threes. And then you got to consider usage. Jordan had a much higher usage rate, so LeBron is doing all of this with a lower usage rate at 31.6. So usage rate being higher doesn't necessarily favor Jordan. It just simply shows he's had more opportunity to get to his numbers than LeBron.
Can I respond?
So you want me to go?
These are just the numbers. I can't change the
numbers.
But
I'm not let you.
Can I
respond to him, though, bro?
No, that's Andrew. Andrew can go first.
Go ahead, Andrew.
All right. So value over replacement player, bro. That's again a career statistic you compile over an entire career. So LeBron has played longer, so he's going to compile more in those categories.
It's still in LeBron's favor.
Hold up. And the reason I brought up hold up. The reason I brought up win shares per 48 minutes is because when I'm making the argument for Michael Jordan, my argument is he had the highest peak. So LeBron played more seasons, so he's going to accumulate more win shares. Again, because he's in year 20, Jordan played, or he's going to be in year 20 next year. Jordan only played 15 years. So you're going to compile more, but when you look at the peak per 48, Jordan's higher.
Okay, so we can take it back.
And true shooting percentage. Hold on, let me.
This is what we do.
You brought it up.
Because hold on. Let me read to you. I'm gonna read to you how this. So again, I just changed the parameters because I'm using synergy. So if I change the parameters, right, and if I go with Jordan's prime years to LeBron's prime, what we call prime years, right? If we go prime for prime and I apply analytics to that, you probably don't even want me to read it because there's no analytic if we go prime for prime that favors Jordan over LeBron.
What do you consider in prime?
Hold on. What do you consider? You can literally tell me what years to put in for Jordan and tell me what years to put in for LeBron. If we start deleting things from Jordan or we start going prime for prime, since you guys want to allude to the fact that maybe towards the end of his career, you want me to take off the Washington years to see if it gets better? What do you want me to do?
I actually had a better.
What do you want me to take off for LeBron? Hold on. What do you want me to take off for LeBron to give it more balance so the longevity doesn't weigh heavily towards LeBron? Because when I start taking off games, these metrics and analytics start to favor LeBron by a large margin. LeBron's longevity has actually lowered the analytics to a certain degree to where Jordan's even in competition. Because without the longevity, it wouldn't even be close.
So could I respond to that?
So go,
hold on. I want to respond. Hold on.
Y'all the ones maybe typing in.
Hold on. Let me respond. You don't have to take off any years. All you have to do is take his cumulative value of replacement player, take his cumulative win shares, and divide it by how many games he's played. And when you do that, you're going to see that MJ averages better per game.
Bro, no, it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, he does.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Then.
I'm trying to lie.
Calculate it right now.
Okay, so you want me to go value? Tell me one season.
He said his whole career, every game he played.
Hold on. We can go game for game.
I didn't ask you game for game.
We can go season. Hold on, we can go season.
No, he didn't say game for
game. Hold on, y'all both yelling. I know this hurts.
They trying to
but I can literally go. I can go season for season.
I didn't tell you to do that.
And there's not. Hold on. I'm telling you. I'm saying. Hold on. Here, you can get a pen and pad and do the math yourself.
I did the math already.
Okay, tell me each year.
I said go by
year.
So
you didn't do the math. So you didn't do the math.
He didn't say year by year.
I didn't say year by year.
Hold on. No, what I'm telling you is this.
He said per game.
Hold on, Andrew. Hold on. I'm saying if we go year by year, since y'all say LeBron's longevity, is what's helping them get there, which actually his longevity is hurting him in these analytics.
No, it's
we can go year by year.
I didn't say year by year though.
Okay, so why would we go game by game?
I said per game. I didn't say
game. You said
per
game.
Why? Hold on.
Average for his career.
Hold on, do y'all know this? Hold on. See, this is that logic that y'all use, that per game stuff, that per 48 minute type shit. That's the shit that Kwame Brown said to get people to believe he averaged 15 points a game. Come on, man. Stop using the dumb shit, man.
I said per
game, man.
Hold on. So you trying to tell me that players?
This man, Kwame Brown come pulling up, man, per game, per 48 minutes, man. I was averaging 15. No, bro.
Nah, you
was a bum, man. No, bro. I just said we can go per game. First of all, you cannot count.
Okay, do it per game.
You cannot calculate value over replacement in a game.
No, you divide it by how many games they played. That's fifth grade math, bro.
And what you're trying to do is what y'all trying to nullify LeBron. One of the things that has him being great is his longevity. Just because his longevity, he's played more games than any other player. You can't take that away from him. It's just something that he's always gonna have over him.
Who said take it away from him?
I'm saying just
when he starts to divvy things up the way he is, try to be slick just to find the number that Jordan might
I
have Jordan higher.
He played more games.
Hold on,
he hasn't.
Might higher is
Hold on.
higher.
And the fact, the reason I know he hasn't done the math because even when I start to do it
Travis.
that way, it still favors LeBron.
No, it doesn't. I've
They can
actually
show
done
the math.
Okay, show me the math. Show me.
I can show you. It's easy. All you gotta do is go on fucking Google and Google.
Okay, show me. No, you can share your screen. You can pull. You can show us because the thing is the way you trying to measure it. It's not. It was never meant to be used that way. You're trying to finesse it to use it in a way where you think it might be manipulated to favor Jordan.
Yes. I'm not trying to manipulate it. All I said was go by their.
If you get me to divide value over replacement by something that is not normally divided by, just to get to a number where Jordan might be higher than LeBron, you're trying to misrepresent what value over replacement actually is.
But that's
value
per
over
game,
replacement. No, value over
That's per
replacement
game,
wasn't
though.
meant to be decided per game.
He told the teacher to make a rule so he could beat the Pistons.
That's how value over replacement. Value over replacement is not a per game metric.
Goat that.
It's not like points per game.
So if it's not a per game metric, how are we comparing player to player?
It's not. It's not about points per game.
So how are we not? So
hold on. Why can't you just accept the fact that LeBron's value over replacement is 142 and Jordan's 116? Just accept it.
I can't accept that. I just
okay, now move on. He just better. In that aspect of the game, he's just better.
That man,
move on. Just give
his
up.
style of play has not.
Just give it up.
You want me to give it up instead of
just give up. Move to another analytic. Move to another analytic where you actually stand a chance with LeBron. That one doesn't.
Retired twice in his prime, bro.
All my point is that player efficiency.
Go to win shares. Go to something else. Go to something else. Value of replacement is never.
I just told you win shares for 48. I said that at the beginning, bro.
Hey, y'all, hold on. Everybody. Hey, bro, I want y'all to, when y'all hear that per 48 bullshit, that's some bullshit.
So Lamont. So why Lamont, I went back.
Y'all got to stop doing that bullshit, man. Y'all think y'all not gonna get me with the finesse, man. Yeah, so that means y'all believe Kwame Brown was a great player.
You keep talking, Lamont. Player efficiency rating.
How many minutes Kwame Brown played?
Player efficiency rating goes by per game. So what's wrong with value replacement player?
But hey, if player efficiency rating was that's what that metric was determined. Right? That's what that metric was for.
But if we're comparing two players, why would we be comparing? Why aren't we comparing them?
Bro, you're trying to make up an analytic that's not even used. Comparison. Don't make up something that ain't even there. There's no such thing as value over replacement per game. You just made that up.
It's just dividing numbers, bro.
No, it's not. He just made up a value over replacement. Is not even calculated or used in that way. But he just completely made it up just so he can come to a number. I can divide a lot of numbers. I can divide a lot of numbers by games
because I'm
comparing narratives.
Because I'm comparing two players. I'm not comparing.
Come on, bro.
I'm not just
the one thing again because you know. With LeBron, because he's played more games. If you divide a bigger number per game to his number, the average is going to. You know by doing that. That's why I say go prime for prime. Let's go equal game for equal game. So if we compare 500 if we compare LeBron's best 500 games to Jordan's best 500 games.
I just put in the chat.
Are you guys going to hold on? Are you going? Hold on. Let me tell you this. If I compare Jordan's best game, 500 games, to LeBron's best 500 games, are you going to tell me the analytics are going to be close in Jordan's or in Jordan's favor?
His best 5 games? What are his best?
No, I said if you take Jordan's best 500 games and LeBron's best 500 regular season games, and you compare them analytically, it's going to be astronomically. It's going to be astronomically in LeBron's favor. The only thing that's keeping Jordan close in these analytical conversations is the fact that LeBron has played so long. The longevity is actually saving y'all, making the numbers look closer than what they actually are.
Lamont be paying niggas to do
these fools keep saying longevity. Longevity is helping your argument, making it look like it's close analytically. Get away from the analytics in this conversation. With analytics, with Jordan and LeBron, is going to start favoring LeBron heavily if you actually look at them correctly and not divide mysterious numbers by 2. Or whatever you said divide by. That's not how they were meant to be used. Sorry, X-Man. You calculated something that was flawed. I don't know what you was dividing for. I don't know why you was dividing shit just to come up with some shit.
Why was talking about per game when everything else? Okay.
This ain't like points, and you can go points per game. That's not how value over replacement is calculated.
Why not?
Because there's no such thing as value over replacement per game.
You paid these niggas to go make up a stat.
That's not how value over replacement. There's a sample size that must be generated to even get to value over replacement, and you can't just do it in one game. My bad. I mean, I'm just saying it don't work like that.
Oops.
It don't work like that because it don't benefit your narrative.
No, it don't work like that because you just made it
don't
up.
work like that because it don't
You
benefit
did all that dividing for nothing, because so you can make something up. Man. You got to stop making stuff
He
up.
carried the two.
As long as it makes sense to you.
Emily, he carried the 1 and the 2.
Now, hold on. Now, look, y'all. If we talk about these same, look, y'all. If we talk about these same, hold on. Let's do this. Let's do these same analytics, but let's go just to the playoffs strictly, because the other ones that I talked about were for what? Because remember, the playoffs is what matters most. This is where y'all start saying guys choke. So if we go to player efficiency rating, once again, Jordan has that edge, 28.6 to LeBron's 28.2. So Jordan has a that PER that y'all say Jordan edges him out by is not by a large margin. It's by decimal points away. But Jordan does have the edge. Value over replacement, consistent with the value over replacement. Again, always favoring LeBron. 24.7 for MJ, 33.9 to LeBron, right? If we go to win shares, 39.8 to LeBron's 55.7. If you go to true shooting percentage, 56.8 to 58.3 in LeBron's favor. And then when you go to usage rate, once again, it's showing you that LeBron is doing all of this with far less usage. Look, Jordan's usage 35.6 to LeBron's 32.0 in the playoffs. Now, you can say the analytics are flawed, like the guy is saying in the chat. But that means stop using analytics. That's all I'm saying. If you think they flawed, stop using them, because they don't favor you if you're trying to make the case for Jordan over LeBron.
That's the only time they want to use it, when they favor them.
So you can't run and say PER, but then you forget to talk about value over replacement, or you try to splice up value over replacement by dividing it by some magical number. Bro. So, unfortunately, analytics just don't work when you're trying to do the LeBron thing. You got to stick to other things.
He got the commissioner to bring in a rule to get past the Pistons.
Florence Stewart says the analytics are flawed. Now the analytics are flawed. But so in one sense, you want to use PER when it's Jordan over LeBron, but all of a sudden when all of the other analytics
them niggas left.
are LeBron over Jordan, now the analytics are flawed. See, I guarantee you if all of these analytics had Jordan over LeBron, y'all be all for using them.
No, it would be weird. It would be weird if they had MJ over LeBron and value of replacement player. That wouldn't even make sense statistically.
Okay, but what about true shooting percentage?
No, see that's in favor of LeBron. I agree with that. I didn't nobody argue against true shooting percentage.
No, but I'm saying it's another analytic that nobody, people get quiet on.
Right, then you could have spent your time bringing that up instead of doing that bullshit you was doing with value replacement.
But what is regarded as X-Men? You should know this. What is regarded as the most important analytic to determine a player's value on a team?
Value over replacement player, right?
Thank you. And whose value over replacement far supersedes the others?
LeBron's.
Okay, so analytics don't favor.
Right. As long as you don't care about context, yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Oh, you care about context? I got some context.
Clearly, that's what I was talking about this whole fucking stream.
I got some context for you.
Good kudos to you. Keep that shit to yourself, nigga, because I ain't asked you for your damn context.
Oh, you mad about the context? What to say?
I got some context for you. Who the fuck asked you for your context?
Man, sound like my motherfucker.
Talking to Lamar and shit. Talking about some. I got some context for you. Who the fuck asked you for your context?
Sound like my lawyer, nigga. Shut up.
Tell me. Come on, bitch.
Kudos.
Come on, bitch. Tell me context.
You go for your arraignment tomorrow.
What's the context, bitch? Tell me context. Come on.
And you ain't got to
try to make up a whole.
What's the context, bitch? Tell me context. Come on.
It's not that deep. It's basketball. Why you calling?
What's the context, bro?
I'm playing with this nigga. I give a fuck about all
what's
that.
The context?
This man, he got caught making up a stat. You got caught trying to create.
He did all that long division for nothing, man.
What's the context?
Shit, yo, salty as fuck.
What's the context? Tell me the context you're trying to bring up.
If LeBron got a rule implemented to get past the big three Boston, what would you say about it?
If he had a rule implemented to get,
if he got a rule implemented to help him get past the big three Boston, what would you say? How great is that? What would you say about him?
I don't think that would change anything.
I said it would change that. I said if he got a rule implemented, that helped him get past big.
Right, I heard what you said. I said that wouldn't change any. That wouldn't change my opinion on him.
Would you say that's great?
He already left his team 3 times. So what?
I'm saying, forget everything else. I'm just talking about that one situation. Just talking about that one situation. Forget all the rest of the shit. Just
why can't I forget all the situation when I'm comparing them based off his overall body of work?
I'm just
why not ignore everything just for that one thing?
Talking about context. To this
you tell me that you want me to ignore everything for that one situation?
I'm talking about context to one situation.
That's not going.
You
change
asked
my
for
ranking.
context. I said
it's not going
go
to change
through
my
context.
ranking of them. So what difference would it make?
I'm not talking about liking. I said, would it be greatness or not? If he got a rule implemented to get past the big three, Boston, would you consider that greatness?
I don't consider the rule to be greatness or not. I consider did he perform well or not.
I said if he implemented a rule that helped him get.
Could you get to the point? What are you trying to? What do you need?
Boston.
Could you make the fucking point, please?
I am making a point.
I think you know the point that he's getting to.
I want him to make.
I just want him to answer the question.
I want him to make
know what I'm ready to say. I just want him to answer the question first.
Answer the question 3 fucking times. Could you get to the fucking point?
You didn't answer the question. You talking about?
I said it wouldn't change. I said it wouldn't change my opinion none whatsoever. What's the fucking point?
So is that greatness or not? That's all I'm asking. Would you consider that?
Again, I don't consider a rule change greatness or not. I don't value greatness over rule changes because rule changes happen every fucking decade.
So
again, could you get to the fucking point of what you're trying to say?
Because you're beating around the bush. All right. So is it great that they could create a rule to stop a player, but create a rule to help a player? Because that's been going on through NBA history. They've been creating rules to stop players from winning, and they never created any rules to help a player win except one.
Okay.
So would that make that one player greater than the others?
No. That alone, no. The whole
Would it help
resume. That alone, it depends on how close their resumes are.
Would it help it or hurt it though? It only depends on that.
If their resumes aren't even close, then it wouldn't matter to me. If that one.
All right, if their resumes is close, then.
If their resumes are super close, and I thought if I looked at their resume, say, oh, I think they are neck and neck, and then a rule change, and I say, then yeah, sure.
So you saying it would help them?
Yeah, if I thought their resumes were close, sure.
See, that's why JDR's ideology is very flawed.
JBL.
They would say that something like that would help.
What the fuck is JBL? What the fuck is it?
What's that JBL? I said JDR.
Oh,
JDR. Dick
JDR.
Riders, ballpark eaters, Jordan Knights, J Flunkies.
Okay,
Jeffrey
well then
eaters,
tell that to a
all
Jordan
that.
Flunky or a JDR.
And just so let me say one thing about the value over replacement, y'all. The biggest impact on value over replacement, the biggest thing that influences it is what? Wins. It's wins. That's the primary thing, and that's in the playoffs and in the regular season. Winning influences your value over replacement amongst a number of other things. So, again, at the end of the day, the most important aspect of value over replacement is winning. Value over replacement is just, again, it's a very strong metric, and it's been very accurate in predicting who the best player. Like, you can literally take off all the names from all stats in NBA history, and you go value over replacement, and when you uncover those names, the names that we discussing now are generally going to be the top names that you find right there. It's an extremely accurate metric when you apply it to blind stats and then show the names after. And that's how it was actually tested. When you look at the history of value over replacement, it was a blind test done, and it's extremely accurate.
Like I don't consider LeBron a GOAT.
We got Flex Sweat. Shout out, salute to Flex Sweat, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Y'all go check out Flex Sweat on Instagram, man. The man is, man, I ain't never seen somebody come up like this, man. He was a trainer in LA Fitness. Now he got his own studio, doing his own thing, running a crazy business, man. Y'all check him out on IG.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, I could always tell, though. He had it in him. You could always tell he was destined to do something crazy because, I mean, you know, just by talking to him, you know, man, he is always looking to achieve something bigger. Hold on, we got Prime Time Podcast. Salute.
For any player that implement rules to help him get past the team that he can beat, I can't give him credit over other players who didn't do that.
Right.
No, that's all I got.
You don't think that has an asterisk next to anything, X-Men?
Sure, I guess.
So why is not an asterisk to Jordan?
What was the rule?
Flagrant foul. He got other rules changed, but he started
So
with
they
that.
passed the flagrant foul rule explicitly for MJ? Because he lost him 3 times. So why
listen. You could Google this. MJ words. When he beat the Pistons, he said, we might have went and told the teacher on him, but we walked away with
you just link it? Why do I got to
Boy
Google?
Scout gameplay style, and we won. And that game is that play style that they have doesn't belong in the NBA, and other teams was trying to implement it. which stagnated these other teams who was playing like that the whole 80s. When Jordan couldn't win in the 80s. He did that, and he finally got past Pistons.
Right, but you said that they changed the rule explicitly for Jordan, right?
I say explicitly for
that was the consent. But X-Man,
I said he pushed forward and got
X-Man, if you are being honest, that was the consensus belief around the league that it was changed for the Bulls.
So we go by beliefs and not direct facts, right?
I go off Jordan words. I just said.
I'm saying if you're not being biased, the consensus was that it was changed for Jordan.
Jordan said he went to the commissioners and told them implement that rule.
Could you give me a link for that, please?
I'll find it for you.
I just want to link.
Oh, right, good looking.
He said MJ out of his own words said that he intentionally went to the league and told them to pass a flagrant foul rule.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's his own word. And that's how he said it. He said we might have went to the teachers and he laughed that he said it. Just to stagnate the state.
Right.
And that's why I was asking if LeBron did that shit. I could just imagine how y'all act.
But again, as I just pointed out, I wouldn't use that explicitly against LeBron because LeBron has already done other things that I don't agree with, and that's not enough to change my ranking of him.
Yeah, that's why I was only talking.
Like I said, he already changed teams 3 times, and I didn't agree with that. But that doesn't change my ranking.
Got a championship.
That's cool.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I said I wasn't talking about the totality of a person's career. I'm talking about that one part.
So I'm saying if he would have went to 3 different teams and lost, and never won shit, then yeah, I would use that against him. But he won on the fucking teams he's winning. So
yeah, I ain't talking about changing teams. I just talking about that
I don't do
I
this.
understand what you're saying.
No, I understand what I'm saying. That this whole thing that we use in basketball arguments, I don't do this whole like, well, this one thing happened, so therefore I have to discredit everything. I don't do that.
No, I don't discredit everything Jordan did. He's still one of the greats.
No, I mean, I'm saying that discrediting the chip. I don't do the whole, well, I'm not going to
discredit none of his chips.
This specific thing because of us. I don't do stuff like that.
I didn't discredit.
I just go by their career bodies of their resume of work. That's all I do.
I go off everything.
I don't go about who. I don't care. I don't go about who think what era is better and who think what blah blah blah. I don't do all that
team,
that's up to other people.
Every fucking thing. And like I just said,
hold on. Let me ask you. How do you feel about this statement? This is for everybody in the chat, and this is for even on the panel. Here's a statement. It says MJ. This is quoting MJ. MJ on rule changes. He says, if teams were able to play zone defenses, I would have never had the career I had. Is that, especially now when we see the
he
talent,
fought against that rule.
When we see the talent, he definitely did. But when we see the talent in the league today, right? When we look at the talent gap with Jordan and some of the other players in the league in the 90s, did Jordan kind of expose his entire era by that statement? Because if Jordan couldn't handle deep zone defenses, shit, I don't know if anybody in the 90s could.
He tried when he was playing for the Wizards.
Didn't he play on the Wizards during zone defense?
Yeah, that's why I just said he tried when he played for the Wizards. You see how that ended?
How did it end?
He wasn't going nowhere, then he got injured.
Right, but they actually were the first seed. They were a top seed until he got injured his first year.
You talking about like the first 20 games?
The first 40 games.
Yeah. But
first 40 games.
Hold on, X-Men. You're still not taking into consideration what Jordan said. Jordan said he wouldn't have had the career that he had there been zone defenses in the league. This is not us speculating. He said it himself. Only person who knows better. We don't hear Jordan caving into anything, saying that he would struggle against anyone.
Right.
But he did cave into that, and he admitted that much.
So he caved into a lot of stuff, though. He said he wouldn't have won no chips without Pippen. Right?
Oh, but we all know that.
He don't fight back against shit.
Yeah, but we know that's true. We know that, but that's obvious.
He says that he goes around saying that he's not the GOAT, that there's no. He says
I know,
a lot of shit,
but what I'm saying is that was obvious because. Hold on, X-Men. Hold on, X-Men. That's obvious because we saw Jordan play without Pippen. There's not a point in time in the league where we saw Jordan in his prime with zone and Jordan in his prime without zone. We saw Jordan in the NBA without Pippen. He couldn't get he had a losing record in the NBA. Then when he got Pippen, he started winning championships and getting farther. So we saw both. We could never see both. Jordan just had to. They just asked him a question. He didn't even have to admit this or say it.
But MJ also said that he considered himself similar to Russell Westbrook. And you got clown for saying that stupid shit.
I didn't get clown. That's the fact. Jordan said it, not me.
Yeah, he did.
Why y'all?
That's what I'm saying.
But why do y'all clown me for something that he said?
They talk about the energy he bring and his. Like,
do you not believe Jordan and Westbrook are similar?
I don't.
Do you not believe Westbrook could have easily been a top 5 player in the 90s?
I'm sure he could have. I'm just saying they're different players, though.
No, but Jordan said they weren't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Jordan has said other things that people have called his ass over.
Yeah, but no, just because y'all don't like the correlation. But just hold on, y'all can't get mad because y'all don't like the correlation.
He also said that super teams are hurting the league.
How do y'all?
Everything he said just because he says one thing.
But it's not like he's giving his opinion on something else. He's talking about himself. Who knows himself better than anyone else?
Okay, but some people also. But we see
he's the best source. There's no better.
You don't
source.
Believe him?
There's no better source for these Jordan questions than Jordan himself.
So you don't believe him?
Kudos to him. He can say whatever he wants. He's not a god.
Know that kudos.
He's not a god. I don't have to listen to I don't have to agree with whatever the fuck he says.
Oh man.
He says he's not. He says he's
okay. Cool.
These niggas.
He says he's not the greatest of all time. He says that multiple times. I don't have to agree with his ass.
No, he said he's the greatest of all time plenty of times.
Right. I'm saying recently, the past several times he's been asked the question. He keeps saying there's no great of all time and that he wouldn't call himself the greatest. That he's not the greatest. I don't have to agree with him. I don't give a fuck what he said. He's not a guy.
The GOAT plenty of
Just because I call him the GOAT doesn't mean I have to agree with every fucking word he says.
He called himself the
GOAT
plenty of times, but what he said about these rules is.
I understand that, but but you just hear what I just said. I said recently, the past several interviews recently, he's been saying that he's not the great. He's not
cool, but we talking about these rules.
I don't give a fuck what he says. I don't have to go by what he says. He's not a guide. I just have him as the GOAT. I go by his fucking what he does on the court. I don't go by what any fucking statement he says.
Goalpost.
But the unfortunate part about some of this is you never saw the NBA wanted to bring back zones for a while. Mm-hmm. But Jordan was one of those avid players that were consistently and publicly voice against it. Why do you think he was so adamant against the league not implementing zones?
He said it hurt his game.
He didn't want to change his game. I agree. He didn't want to change his game.
Now, if we put that into context and we look at
players like
Steph Curry, players like LeBron, who are still having major success, but they have to deal with zones and all these additional coverages. And
they changed the rules for today's players, though.
What rules?
They completely took away a bunch of other rules in the mid 2000s. They spoke about it. They said they were allowed. They had eased up the dribbling rules. They said back then you had to have your hand on top of the basketball when you dribble. What they called it a carry.
They were doing that in the 90s.
That Jordan put in.
So I'm saying, and they also changed the rules saying that you
hold on. What rule change was that? That's not a rule change.
What happened to AI?
I'm saying that they changed a lot of stuff about the game. Is what I'm saying.
Because Jordan brought in another rule.
And they also changed. I'm saying that the commissioners themselves, the NBA people themselves, flat out said that they were trying to change rules to make it easier to score because the low scoring was fucking with people's.
It wasn't about dribbling,
but that's not a player going to them and doing that.
Hold on. I don't know if that's true, X-Man.
I'm saying that, okay.
It's still not a player going to do that. We talking about Jordan going to the
whole conversation. I'm saying when you said that they play zone D, I agree, but the game is completely different. They don't just because they added zone, they removed a bunch of other stuff. So the game is played completely different anyway.
What other stuff they removed?
Like big men are because of the 3-second violation, big men aren't even in the paint as much anymore either.
Who brought that in?
The complete game change.
But hold on,
game change.
Who brought that in?
No. But why did they do that? Why did
because they do the viewership was getting freaking low because the scoring was getting incredibly low.
No, that's not why.
Jordan,
because they said this is why
to
everybody that's listening. The reason why the defensive 3 seconds was implemented is because they brought back zones and because they said these zones are going to be too overpowered if we allow teams to zone up. Yet they can stand in the paint all day, because at least in the 90s you couldn't zone up, but the big man could stand at the rim and rim protect all day. This is why you have bigs who could get 5 blocks a game. A lot of bigs. I mean, George Mirasan. Some of these bigs are not even looked at as all-time great defenders, even Sean Bradley's in them, but they're able to amass so many blocks a game because they don't have to leave the paint at all. On top of the fact that the player that they're guarding, the other big, couldn't shoot outside of 8 feet anyway. So what I'm saying is the rules with regards to rim protection had to change because if you could zone up and your big could never leave, didn't have to leave the rim. Imagine Rudy Gobert and if the Utah Jazz, if they had viable perimeter defenders, you could zone up and Rudy Gobert didn't have to leave the paint or worry about another big who could shoot threes lights out.
But that was
Bro,
the
they
point
would
I
be
just
unstoppable.
made.
No,
the point I just made, Lamont.
They only. But you're saying it wasn't because of the scoring.
I said the whole coach.
It wasn't because of the scoring. It was to bring balance to the addition of the zone. It was just to balance it out so zones wouldn't be overpowered.
But my point was that the rule. My point is that you're saying zone. I'm saying a bunch of other rules have changed. So you're comparing two different completely.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when I say rule changes, like the implementation of something that's completely banned. That's a rule change. If they're more lax here, like this year. They said we're not going to call those fouls. Like that wasn't necessarily a rule implementation. That's just a referee and adjustment. They didn't really change rules, but they said we're not going to go for those phony fouls. That this is why James Harden getting to the free throw line significantly went down because now when he's trying to fake and guys who actually play good defense, you're not going to just throw yourself into their arms and get a foul. That's a refereeing adjustment. So. Again, there's actual rule changes to make the game harder for offensive players, but then when you talk about the flagrant foul calls with regards to certain calls for Jordan, I mean, do you think players who joked about Jordan? I put a clip on my story where Magic and Bird were standing with Jordan. They were taking a picture, and they were like, "Yeah, you need to put your arm around him." He was like, "Man,
don't touch him. It's gonna be a foul." Yeah, I've seen it.
It's gonna be a foul. Like it's something they even said it during the Olympic. Runs when they were just running in the Olympics. What was Magic saying to Jordan to talk shit to him?
He said he was calling those fouls just like in Chicago or something.
No, he was like, the refs won't save you here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
He kept saying the refs won't. It was consensus. It was a consensus around the league that refs felt like they were protecting MJ, giving him a lot of calls.
They had to do that to expand the league, like. That made more cities want to invest in it.
I mean, I've seen times where LeBron gets clobbered, and it's supposed to be a flagrant for anybody else, but for LeBron, it's just a common foul because he's so big and strong.
Shaq said the ref told him, "You get fouled almost every play, but I'm not going to call it because you're so big and strong."
So yeah, just LeBron's size and stature just eliminates him from getting some of the calls that other players get.
Did you find that joint when Jordan said he told the teachers on the Pistons?
No, I asked you to link it to me.
Hold on. What
I'm talking
about. I'm trying to find that quote. What did he say? He said what?
He said, paraphrasing, but he put teachers' name in it. He told the teachers on the Pistons, and he said something about they walked away with the Boy Scout play style, and all these other teams was implementing the Pistons play style, and that type of play style has no place in the league and all that shit. He went on and on that joint. And he said Boston was playing the same way, but they still was great regardless. Of course, because they got Bird. Bird, a great player, going to play through anything. Which is the reason why I was saying I don't rank him ahead of certain players who didn't have that juice to do that type of shit.
No, I can't find it. If I probably can find it, I just don't. It's just so many articles I'm gonna have to sift through and try to read because, everything was in black and white back then. You're gonna have to literally pull it up.
All right, I'm gonna have to leave out and come back again because as soon as I go look for it, it's going to knock me out. So I'm gonna leave out and come back up.
Maybe on the West Coast, but real fans know Magic was the playmaker. De Niro must be talking to somebody else. Salute, De Niro. I haven't seen you in here in a minute. Hold on. Rock and Rollin' says Jordan was the most creative, though. Creative with regards to what? Finishing at the rim? Or dunking? I don't know. It wasn't outside of attacking the basket. I don't think he was the most creative. I would say Hakeem was more creative out on the perimeter than Jordan. Jordan was great attacking the basket, though. Great finishes. This is West Coast. I personally got Magic over Bird. Yeah, I got Magic over Bird, but De Niro, what I was saying earlier was players like Bird and Magic, their time is eventually going to come where they get bumped out of the top 10. Do you think people are actually going to have the intestinal fortitude to actually do it? Or are they going to keep those guys in there for the nostalgia? That's what I'm saying. That's my whole question. Are they going to have the capability to actually do it. X-Man, AG the Great says X-Man true defensively, Bill Russell.
Talking about he's trying to talk about the 3-second rule. I think there was an offensive 3-second rule and there was a defensive one. I don't know which one was passed. One of them was passed for Shaq.
Defensive 3 seconds. Yeah, defensive 3 seconds got put in either late 90s or early 2000s. Or I can't remember. I think
it was a 2000. I think it's because Shaq said he said they was using that against him because he was the best in the world or something like that.
It was whenever zones came in.
Yeah, it was 2002 then.
Yeah. Well, the same year zones came in is when they added defensive 3 seconds.
Yeah, the guy in the comment section was saying something different. He was talking about George Mike, and that was the offensive. That was in the 50s or something like that.
Hey, salute to the younger boys on Twitch. Salute, man. He says, yo, make sure you come over to YouTube and smash the like, hit the subscribe over here on YouTube as well. And the younger boys, man, I'm gonna start gaming over there on that channel as well. Make sure you pull up.
You a gamer too?
Oh yeah.
Is that I think I'm still see everybody's a gamer now.
Nah, but I got my certain games. I'm not bouncing all over the place with 1,000 games, but like I got certain games that I just like to run.
I can't do that no more, bro. I used to play games, but bro, I got fucking rage. I used to fucking break my controller out of anger.
No,
I like this fucking game cheated.
Yeah, I had. I'm trying to think. What game makes you rage the most? I would probably say the new Call of Duties and like stuff like Fortnite, where people can get real spammy and real, even 2K. The way they do 2K now, that's why I stopped playing 2K, because you have people who specifically play the game searching for certain glitches that they can just spam and abuse. And it's just like once they figure it out, if you don't learn it and start spamming back, like it takes the fun out of the game if you only winning because you know how to spam a computer glitch. So it's just like, it's fun for the first, little bit, but that's what kills it right there. But now I'm playing the Division 2. That's what I'm on.
How much longer you gonna be live for, Because I know it's going on 2:00.
I don't know, man. I might be shutting it down soon.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. for me.
Hey, I don't know. I know I started this one kind of late, but I did just want to get a live up because I got to do it live tomorrow on this shooting in Texas, and I'm gonna do that on my other channel.
Yeah,
it was a shooting in Texas. Damn, I'm not.
Yeah, 18 kids in elementary school and 3 teachers.
Jeez.
And it was an 18-year-old. He killed his grandma. Before he went on his rampage, he went into an elementary school, 18 kids, and 2 teachers, and his grandma.
Yeah, man.
So it's just like, I did a live on the Buffalo shooter, calling out Tucker Carlson, but this is the first time I didn't get a strike, but Fox News reported my video as deceptive and spam. And this is the first time I've seen it happen. I should share my screen.
That's crazy.
I go to my YouTube the next day and it says this video has been made automatically private and it's locked. I said, I said, what? I've never seen that. It's like YouTubers who understand what private and getting your video blocked, I'll have seen all of this stuff. I've never seen a video that says private and it says locked, and at the bottom of it, it says you cannot appeal this. I said, what?
That's crazy.
I couldn't appeal it. There was nothing I could do. And they said it was deceptive and spam because I was calling out Tucker Carlson and Fox News. Yeah, they didn't want no parts of that one. I said, man, the big dogs came. Yeah, what up? What up, Sixers?
Did you ever hear about that Adrian Payne shooting that happened the other day?
Yeah, I read the backstory. So I went and read the full story about what actually happened, and I know more details are gonna come out. Now the story that I heard was his ex, because they tried to make it seem like he was going over there to protect some woman from domestic violence. The house that he went to was his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend.
Right.
So he went over there to his current girlfriend's. He went to her ex's house because I'm assuming he called her trying to get back with her. and he threatened her. So he pulled up over there with a gun to, get on his top a little bit about it. And he had a gun on him. I'm assuming he flashed the gun. So the other dude went into the crib, came out with a gun. And he says, look, he used the same excuse that the cops use. He says it looked like he was reaching, so I shot him. Right? The cops, look, if you be fair about it, cops use that same excuse all the time.
Yeah.
And they go home that night. They lock this man up. And so you never know. It's unfortunate, man. You never want to see a guy like Adrian Payne go down. But, I mean, what does it all tie back to?
Woman, man.
He got influenced by the words of another woman, man. Ain't no way in hell. Like that. And this is why, who cares? If somebody calls, like, block the number. What the fuck? Why you telling me?
Why are you even going there?
Yeah, but
especially with a gun, like, come on, man, you gotta be better.
She asked him to go over there and do something about it, and I think right now she's trying to separate herself from it as much as possible to make it seem like she's not the one reason why they went over there. But there is a fake story going around that he was just going over there because the ex-boyfriend was like hitting on some, like, why would he go over there just to go protect some random girl that he don't know? There was another girl at his house, but that was his current girlfriend. He didn't know her from nothing. The only two people that knew each other was his girlfriend and the dude that he went over there to talk to.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, so it came down to some bullshit.
Hold
on. Leon, why you say anti-owes money? Who anti-owe money to? What you talking about?
Yeah, brothers gotta stop getting into fucking getting themselves into trouble over simple shit that can be resolved.
Right.
Thanks.
That's crazy.
He said, what news? Why you say anti-owes money, Leon Gaines? He said he owes Mookie money.
The whole link.
Bro,
well, copying the whole link. But it's right here. Part of it is in a
he owes Mookie money. He hiding. Who's Mookie though? Who is this Mookie guy? I keep hearing people bring him up. I've never seen him.
Mookie, man, they made a song about him. Yeah. You didn't hear the song?
No, I've never. I'm out of the loop, bro. I'm not.
He did a debate with Bang and got destroyed. So, but and he was trying to. Like, so what happened was in the midst of the debate with Bang, he was trying to say NBA history or something.
NBA history.
He was so confused and his points were so bad. He said NBA history. And it just got turned into a meme rap song. And the rap song go hard though.
That's me.
Killed that shit.
Hey, am I lying? The rap song go hard.
He killed that shit.
I ain't got a cloud like that. Right?
Hold on. Let me play it. I'm gonna play it. This is a short song.
Look in the private chat,
I'm about to pull up this link. I'm about to click this link that he got.
Yeah, the whole. How long is the song? Like 2 minutes?
It's not even that. It's short. It's only one take.
I'm gonna try to go back and copy the link again, but I just put something in the private chat.
All right, I'm about to click it. Hold on. Where's the desktop? It's called Listery.
Let
me see if I can find it. Hold on, I'll just pull up the video. I made a music video to it. Where's my channel at? Videos. Yeah, this dude is how I forget his name. He's nice with it though. He made a whole music video and everything. I don't see the link. I see you quoted it right there. Yeah, find me that link.
I took a piece of it because I was trying to download the link. Copy the link. It wasn't copied. I tried to copy it again, but it wasn't copied when I was doing. It's in the Chicago Tribune. That's why I put that piece. Like if you,
I bet if I Google that,
you can find it.
If that's what I'm saying, I'm about to copy and paste this and just Google this. That way I can find the full article.
But you see it say right there, he said we might have told the teachers or whatever.
So he admitted to it.
Yeah.
Damn.
And you see Dennis talking before he said all that. He like, they ain't do nothing but complain and run their mouth. Dennis was bad.
Then Dennis was like, you can't beat him, join him.
Yep.
Dennis said you can't beat him, join him. See, the NBA was weird back then because people don't remember Dennis Rodman, even though he was one of the best defensive players and rebounders in the league, he was almost out the league. If San Antonio didn't take if the Bulls didn't take him, he might have been out the league.
He had too many antics.
He was having injuries and he was having too many antics.
They wasn't trying to deal with that shit.
But you got to think
and that's crazy, but
that first year he was with the Bulls, he was first team all defense.
Right.
Led the league in rebounds. Like he had a lot in the tank.
7 years straight. And he about to be out the league.
It's crazy. But then again, Dennis Rodman himself is already, he was a specially unique person. Like his career, his personality was always completely something we probably will never see again in NBA. It was unique.
But that's why I say I don't discredit nobody, Chips, because regardless.
Hey, that's how I know this is a fake account. This got to be Mookie fake account. Look. He says nobody in their right mind thought Bane got cooked. Then he says the song was ass. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm about to play it. Actually, I think I got it right here. Hold on. Here go the video. This is about Mookie Jones. If y'all don't know who Mookie Jones is, this was a song that they made about him after he got ethered.
First of all, LeBron James, right? Y'all call this motherfucker the greatest player of all time, nigga. He is the only player in NBA history to.
Now, you want to talk about easy work, bitch? Get your speech right. Listening, nigga. Okay, but anyway, LeBron James, man, in career win shares, regular season and playoffs, he's number 2 behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you body bang, boy, know your history. It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you body bang, boy, know your history. All in your feelings, you gotta be kidding me. Beg for respect, but you only show jealousy. Wanted some status, but you make it enemies. Talk about brown workout like you burn calories. Calling a bait cause he come with the cavalry. Caught another L, rated, took another casualty. Now you on the 2, talking like you had a strategy. Said he had facts, that's a whole lot of captain. It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you body bang, boy, know your history. It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you body bang, boy, know your history. Shout out A Weezy, you reppin' the city. You giving the smoke and it come with a bang. These little sheep only know how to follow. When they see a wolf, they don't know how to dang. It's a debate, don't you come with your feelings. Just facts, cause you know that the shark's in the tank. But I'm off your neck cause you got all these L's. And I don't need to talk cause those losses have weight. It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you body bang, boy, know your history. It's facts over feelings, you talk about listery. Boys, you Scooby-Doo talking in mysteries. You is a puppet to ticket, that's misery. Said that you body bang, boy, know your history.
That's my first time seeing the video.
Yo, wow.
Jump started his rap career off of somebody messing up in the debate, man. Damn. Hey, Jared, hop on the panel, man, if you're going to say that. This is cap. He says LeBron has no haters. All of the media capes for him. Not one media member hates this man.
Skip Bayless.
So that was act like we don't know who Skip Bayless is.
Skip Bayless? That's the
Exactly.
one.
That was the case. He the one defensive player of the year.
When Skip Bayless started talking, when Skip Bayless, like he literally, I think Skip Bayless openly admits that he doesn't.
And he the one unanimous MVP.
Man.
One vote to Melo.
Let me shoot Jared this link, man. I haven't seen Jared in a minute. Can't believe you just said that, Jared. MLE, what you been up to lately, man? You doing the music thing still?
Trying to get shit straight with a business I got with me and my wife.
Okay. Well, like online or just like a physical?
No, assisted living.
Okay. Is it hard to get like I'm assuming you got to get some type of like approval or certifications to do that, right?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. My wife just finished school for it, got the business license and all that. Just gotta find location now.
So you gonna have people coming into y'all location?
Yeah.
You just gonna take care of them?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Boy, that just sounds like a gold mine.
Like with her certifications and everything that we got in place, like you get a certain percentage for each like head that you take on in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like say we got like a 4-bedroom house, two to a bedroom, you get paid a certain amount for each person.
What's gonna be your selling point? Like, because I know it's probably a lot of other people that do it. What y'all gonna use is your selling point to separate you from the others?
We pay for their medical assistance. We get paid from their medical assistance, but I just have I know it's plenty of places that do it because I already looked it up and shit. Yeah. But we try and have it running like real professional to where as though we got a van service that take them to their appointments and shit like that, help them get on their feet, find them jobs and all that. We ain't just housing them. So you warehouse. Okay. So we helping them like re-entry back into society if they already ain't got too much stuff. We help them work on it, like getting a job, finding their own place once they leave there, helping them maintain that employment, keeping up with them once they leave there also.
So hold on. So when you said assisted living, I was thinking like for older people.
Oh no. It's so it's different kinds. Like it's different levels to it. Like you could take in older people, but we also want to take in like sick people, runaway kids. Like you know, you got a lot of pregnant teens that be getting put out their house too. So we got to help them out also. We don't want no little baby running around with a baby and she homeless. You get what I'm saying? So they got a place to go and help them get on their feet, help them take care of their kid. So when they branch off on their own, they got all their ducks in a row.
So how does it get funded? Because if it's that way, is it like government funded? Like how you gonna go off?
Yeah, it's money? Government funded.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what's up right there.
Do the medical assistance and all that shit.
So that's low key kind of like a come up for you, but you also like fixing the community too.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then like once they see like everything on the up and everything legit, and we get to running it for like a few years or whatever, I can also start helping people that's locked up, like a halfway house, and help them transition back into society.
Yeah, that's what I know that's difficult because I told you I told a few people, but I was doing, especially when I was in Indiana, it was easier because I knew the rec coordinator at one of the prisons, but I was able to go back into the prison under the guise of bringing a basketball team.
Yeah.
But the goal was to, at the end of the game, link up with them, speak with them, and then start teaching them about, for me, it was teaching them how to do stuff online to make money, like drop ship, set up your Amazon businesses, things like that, because it ain't going to be a whole bunch of opportunities when you get out. But the things we showed them was how you can make money in a fairly short amount of time with like little overhead. And it's similar to what a lot of them was already doing on the street, hustling, flipping stuff, finding products, selling it for more, but you can do it legally with legal products.
Right.
And so a lot of them then took it. I know a guy took it and then ran with it. I'm talking about he done flipped it, then got all types of Amazon, eBay stores. So,
Right. That's a good thing. That's what you're supposed to do. Like,
but
you help them learn how to be independent.
I tried to go in there, just tell them, look, I want to teach financial literacy and all this stuff. They was like, hell no.
It's called Janir Progressive Living.
Yeah, that's what's up right there.
Then I just got my trade for electrician, and I'm ready to start apprenticeship school. I just been working on trying to get shit off the ground for real.
That's what's up, though, man.
It ain't easy.
Hey,
I wish I did it.
It's better than the alternative.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I wish I'd have been did that instead of going.
What you want to be sitting somewhere ordering from commissary menu?
Right.
Shit, that was about a bird, right?
Nobody. I was just telling my wife that shit, man. If I had thought about this years ago,
I need $40 on my books, man. Like, hell no, that shit dead.
That shit sad.
Cause you literally like a little baby in there. Cause you
gotta rely on everybody else.
You gotta rely, and if they don't hit them JPays, shit. At least they call them out here. Like my homie, I have to send them something called JPays.
Yeah.
But But man, if them JPEGs don't come in time, boy,
You
your
hurt?
phone get to blowing up, man. I'm like, oh shit. But I understand though, man. That
Yeah,
little
I done been
$30,
through that
$40.
situation. Your locker empty. I'm talking about you down to your last deodorant. You in there trying to let me get 2 wipes on this this will last me
Bro,
the next
people
3
be
days.
people be that's why I was tripping because I was talking to Anti the other day on the other channel. It might have been on this channel, right? But we was talking about Young Thug and him, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, because I guess he ain't never been locked up, but I was like, it's a lot of motivation for dudes that's locked up to snitch because all the stuff that they be stressing about while they in there. I said the number one thing, you know that if you've been in there, you know the number one thing that dudes stress about is what? I don't even got to tell you.
Females.
Oh yeah, but I told Anti that. He said dudes don't be in there stressing over their girl. He said what the fuck?
That's the truth though. This nigga be in there been stressing over.
Hold on, did she yell at you for that?
Yeah, that's my wife. You be a bit stressing, bro. Like you so far gone and so like you've been gone all this time away from a female touch. Not only just your own, just a female conversation.
But it's not even that. It's not even real stress. It's paranoid stress that don't even be true. I'm talking about motherfucker might be on the toilet taking a shit. You call, they don't get an answer, and you know, your head get to, going off.
Wandering, creating scenarios.
Yeah, and it be BS. So that's what I mean by I'm not gonna say I understand why dudes tell, but I see how the mental breakdown makes them fold. Mm-hmm. It's the mental breakdown that they can't tolerate. Now you got some dudes in there. Some dudes just ain't got nothing out there, right? So it's easier for them to hold it down, and they can act like, But I said, shit. I said when you really got shit on the streets, I didn't talk to a dude out of Gary, Indiana. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was out on bond on a dope charge. I was hooping with him. I don't know why he even had this conversation with me, but he was like, man, do you think I should? He said, do you think I should tell about these bodies I know about up in Gary?
Damn.
So I can get off this charge because in Indiana, when you get hit with a Dillon charge, that's a Class A felony, which a felony in Indiana is 20 to 80 years. He was lucky enough that his grandma bonded him out with using her house, but he knew once he went back to court, it's just like, because he was looking for any avenue because he facing years, but he asked me, I was like, bro, I was like, you got to do, I was like, well, you got to.
Right.
I said, you got to. I said, that ain't my decision to make, man. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. I said, I'm free. Right? So, like, I'm free right now. Like, I ain't got to worry about it. But that's like, because the man was literally trying to think of every way out. And when the possibility of sitting in that jail cell start to creep up on you, well, that's
you got like a whole system to build your mental up. Like mentally, you just gotta prepare yourself and have a whole program.
Bro, that's even
keep
worse.
Your mental state from falling on you.
Don't you think that'd be worse if you out on bond and then you got to go to court and get sentenced and then go to jail as opposed to just already being in there?
Oh yeah, I just went through a situation like that. Like from
and you just get acclimated and then
3.5 years coming home for about a year and going right back in.
Damn.
That's the worst. Like that shit hurt more than anything because you like, yo, I just left this bitch.
And it's low key kind of embarrassing too because you probably see
because you run into everybody who just like to go home. And niggas like, man, you should have gave me that chance, nigga.
Man, bro,
what's the point of leaving if you was coming back?
And then
I was in
a
work release program, right? This how the female shit really fuck niggas head up. We in work release. That means you got 18 months or less. You ready to go home.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dude called Wild Bill here right now. He used to be my homeboy, but here right now. Yeah. But the thing is, I literally, no jokes, bro, this nigga Jackie Chan the side of the walls, because when they put you in the yard, there's no like ceiling. It's just a wall and a little couple barbed wires at the top of the wall.
Yeah.
This nigga Jackie Chan the corner of the wall and broke out to get home because he just had an argument with his girl and there was another nigga over there.
Hold on. How How did he do that? He like kicked the
Look, the
wall?
wall ain't that big. Like it's B-Triple-C in Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Oh, but you said he was on. Y'all was on what?
We in work release.
Oh, okay, work release. Okay.
Right. They had to move us. They had work release over there at the time, and then they moved us to the building across the street.
So what did he do? What did he do to his girl? Did he?
See,
like,
nobody remember. Like nobody really found out what he did to his girl. They caught that nigga like a month later. I just think so many niggas break out in a situation like that. One nigga beat the CEO up, took the key, ran out the front door. They caught this nigga the next day in his father truck. He went straight to his father house. They caught him in his father truck the next day. So now when he coming back, he was just in work release, but he coming back with escape and assault an officer.
All for nothing.
And now he can't never go back to work release because he escaped.
And now and so that killed a work release. And they've been hitting people with the escape charge. I know in Indiana, the escape charge is like the escape charge is like a mandatory 8 years. Like you can't plea bargain it, you can't negotiate it. You just take this 8, and then that's all you get.
Right, and Baltimore they give you 10 right out of the rip.
Damn.
And he got the assault on the officer because he beat him up and took the key.
I don't know what these people be thinking. Sometimes it's just ride your time out. Write that shit out. Man. You
in work release, you about to go home. And then you go outside damn near every day. You going to work. And most of the time, like you got a cool boss, they let you run around. You ain't gotta be at work. They be like, look, I'm gonna keep you on the clock. Just go ahead and do what you gotta do. Be back before it's time for you to go back. So you got 8 hours to run around outside 5 days a week. What's the point of leaving? What's the point of breaking out? You about to go home.
Oh, but you know what? That's why you got that program you got.
Yeah.
If you can get ahead of some of these dudes, like especially when they're getting close to that time about to get released, because I know the prison I went to, it was a prison where the max you can even have to be in that prison was 8 years. So everybody there had a release date that was in a reasonable time frame.
Right, it's not that far away.
Yeah, it's like I know because in Indiana it's 8. If they give you an 8-year sentence, you only got to do half. So essentially, 8-year sentences are 4-year sentences. So everybody had a foreseeable release date, and so it's much easier to reason with them and kind of show them things that's going to work when they get out. And so they was all ears, And then you go in there. Our team, we would go in there, and we would go in there. Everybody, I said, everybody, we gonna hoop in all white shoes, right? So as soon as the game over, we gonna kick these bitches off and swap shoes with them. Right. So they would love they used to love when we pull up because,
nigga need them shoes.
Boy,
nigga need them shoes.
That's like gold in there. Shoes. But people don't be realizing, man, they just the forgotten batch. People
exactly. You might go in the nigga's cell. He got about 20 pair of shoes lined up against the wall.
So. Yeah, that's a stand-up thing you doing right there. Not a lot of people would be willing to do that.
And that's what I be saying about the snitching part. Like, stop breaking the law. Don't go tell on somebody because you got caught and you don't want to do the time. You shouldn't have broke the law.
Yeah.
You should have been a upstanding citizen, got a job or something, did something constructive with your time instead of breaking the law and then tell on somebody else that's breaking the law because you got caught.
That one thing I hate though, because I understand that sentiment, but then you have so I have a buddy, his name was Marcus, first time offender, right?
Yeah.
His big homie had just put him on, right? Just literally just put him on. He was, he was moving and shaking, doing his thing. He had a McDonald's. I'm talking about he was out grinding the whole day. He down to his last, I'm talking about 0.5 grams. That's it. He had a McDonald's parking lot driving his big homie car. It was a Jaguar. He get pulled over. Cops search. They find. Do you know how small of an amount 0.5 grams is?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
They was able to
next to nothing.
Right. So I'm saying this dude really not necessarily a street dude. He really a school dude that flipped. And now he's put in a situation where he never been in trouble in his life. In Indiana, they don't play with the dope dealing. They don't care if you're a first-time offender or not. You about to get something lengthy if you don't tell. And it's just like, those are the people that I feel sorry for that was never really built for it. And it's
see, when it comes to people that like, all right, if you ain't in the streets and you already just a regular citizen, regular civilian, I don't consider that snitching. Yeah, that's telling. Snitching and telling ain't the same thing. That's what.
Okay.
I don't put them as the same thing because this old lady in her window going to tell. That don't make her a snitch. She ain't involved.
I know, but he was doing the crime. She see a crime. That's what I'm saying. He was actually selling the dope.
Oh, if he ain't on it, yeah, that's snitching.
But what I'm saying is
his dumb ass.
It was dumb, and he got caught up in it. And I don't think he understood the ramifications if he got caught. I mean, he definitely got caught. But the one thing because you got to have at least a heart. And the thing is, I understand the pain that he was going through. I mean, he ended up not telling. Somehow his grandma was able to find. She went and bought a powerhouse attorney that got that whole. She got that 20 years broken down. He got the 20. That shit was broken down into all types of probation, work release, all types of shit.
Yeah, but he ain't tell.
But he didn't have to tell because she went and she paid. She sold the whole crib and a car, and paid like $112K for the best in Indiana.
Oh shit, that's what's up.
And yeah, but I just felt bad for him, man, because when I went in hoop with him and I read his case, and I'm reading and I'm like, damn, I said 0.5. I said, why didn't you just tell him you was a user?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
nigga, you should have.
But see,
swallowed that motherfucker.
That's how tricky the cops are, because they got him in there. He ain't never been interrogated. Remember, he never been in trouble. This is on his OG's fault too, because you shouldn't put nobody that ain't never been through it.
Right? Don't even put him in that position.
Yeah, and so he done told on himself. They said, look, we're gonna let you go home. Just tell us what you was about to do with this. Oh, I was about to go sell it to such and such over here. Oh shit.
Dumb shit.
Now you didn't turn it 0.5 into dealing. So that's
exactly attempted distribute.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because I said it. I read his whole case and it was just literally about 30 pages full of him just telling on himself. I said he didn't told who he sold to the whole day, all the addresses he went to. I said, oh my god.
That's how they get you when they know you green though.
Then they end up stacking his charges because then they added up since he told on himself for multiple sales throughout the day. I said, damn, man, them cops is vicious, bro.
And that's why I be looking at shit like when people be getting mad at certain motherfuckers for telling, like, you got a neighborhood watch. I ain't gonna get mad at them for telling. Get the fuck out they block.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Like, they upstanding citizens. They civilians. They being a citizen. They try and make a citizen arrest or call the police on you. Like, that's what they supposed to do. Now, when you got a nigga, like, I be talking about these dudes in these gangs who be bringing people over and knowing damn well you shouldn't have brought the dude over because he was never a street nigga from the jump, but you brought him over and now you tell on the whole gang. Yeah, he a snitch, but you put yourself in that predicament. You knew that nigga wasn't about none of that shit. And it still go back to, nigga, you telling because you shouldn't have broke the law. That's what most of that shit boils down to. You got niggas never built for this shit, but y'all putting them in it. And get mad when they tell. Nigga, you stupid for bringing them over. Yeah, he's still wrong, but nigga, you even wronger. Because usually how shit used to be back when I was little, when the gang shit was first hitting Baltimore for real, like, you bored a nigga over that told, niggas busting your head. Yeah, he told, but we gonna get you. We gonna get him too whenever we get a chance, but you out here with us now, we gonna get you. Or you on a tear with us right now, we gonna get you. That was your little homie.
And you know how it is when you locked up. They don't care if you a civilian or not. Telling is telling. They coming for your head. If you got that label on your jacket, right? They don't care about no civilian, none of that.
Oh yeah, you ain't gotta be in a gang or none of that shit. Like, no, it's all fit. Like, you an enemy. Nope. You in here with us and nigga, check them papers. If them papers ain't right, yeah, you gotta go.
I be feeling bad for him, man, because I be like, man, that is already a fucked up situation, and now on top of the stresses you already dealing with, you got to deal with them niggas in there.
I done seen it, bro. I got so many stories that it's just sad. I be telling my wife some of this shit. I be laughing about it, but it's sad story. So it just be funny to me because watching it happen is funny at the time. But when I look back at it, I'm like, damn, that shit was fucked up.
It do be fucked up. I be listening to their stories, man. I be hearing the politics stuff that be going on, and it just be, to us, it be like the pettiest shit in the world, but it be in there. I'll be like, God damn, man.
Watch this little young dude get in the game. He don't really know nothing about nothing. He did some bullshit he shouldn't have did.
Yeah.
Man, they wore this nigga out. His own the niggas who bought him over, his own gang. They in there whipping his ass and they killed him. They slamming his head between the grill, like how they locked the cell, and the wall. They slamming his head between the door repeatedly, until the COs came, everybody ran, Shorty laid out. He's dead. Got himself in some shit that he ain't understand.
Boy.
And just made the wrong move. Wasn't no second chance for him or nothing.
Yeah, that shit is
and that wasn't even a telling situation.
Damn.
He just violated a rule that the gang had that he shouldn't have did because he didn't know his paperwork, and then they killed him.
Villain said
Shorty was 18.
He said, "Whoever talking sound like Wale. Wale from your way, ain't
he? Yeah, he from DC. I'm from Maryland. Well, he from PG, so yeah, he from Maryland.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, nah, man,
He
people don't understand. I was like, man, y'all don't know stress. I said, you don't know stress until you sat in that motherfucker for a good 5 days.
Man,
even longer than that.
I sat in that bitch 9 years.
The worst part is
ain't the word. You come out fucked up.
The worst part is the wasted time, man.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. It's just like, man, I literally wasted. Like, imagine, it's hard to waste. Like, sometimes right now, I waste time. I'm sitting in bed too long, and I literally will get mad at myself and just get up. I'm like, I'm wasting time. But, man, it's just imagine 9 years just wait. That's why you doing what you do now.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I was talking to my wife, like, if I'd have knew this shit before I got locked up and doing the dumb shit I was doing, man, I'd have been took off. Like, I'm doing it now, but damn, I wasted a decade.
And that's the thing. That's probably the only regret, because you're like, if you use this type of energy when you 9 years younger, shit, by now you might be a goddamn millionaire.
Right.
So,
and a lot of these young dudes, they ain't gonna realize it till it's too late.
That's the unfortunate.
Until they got somebody that they could actually listen to, that can talk them and talk some sense into them.
Do you think this is true? The reason why the young dudes don't listen is because all the older dudes kind of sound corny, or they kind of sound
not all of them sound corny. It's just that people need somebody that they feel like they gonna relate to, or
that's what I mean. Like they can't relate to them.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's just like when you're raising your kids. Like, you could tell your kid to do this and do that, and you want the best for them, but they ain't gonna be able to receive it because it's coming from you. And you know how a lot of kids look at their parents like you trying to control them or some shit like that. But if they get the same information from a friend, they'd be more receptive to it. Damn. It's just all about the message. So yeah, I agree with that. Like, that's how they be looking at older dudes. And even when I was sitting there doing my time, and when I went through what I went through and how I got locked up, I tried to talk to a lot of dudes that was my age and try to tell them, like, bro, I just went through this, that, and the third. Like, you about to go home, bro, fly straight. Don't go do the same shit again. Don't go fucking with the same people. You see now, niggas can't even send you $10 money order, my nigga. Like, don't go fucking with them niggas again. Go get a job and do the right shit. Stay the fuck out of here. You see what we doing in here? We working for 89 cents a day, my nigga. What's wrong with you going to go work for McDonald's until you get your shit together? You go work for a restaurant or clean floors or anything versus you in here working for 89 cents. You can get your shit together and get past that. But you got to start somewhere. Better than sitting in here.
My homie, though, he locked up right now. He similar to you. He got out, but he went right back. And I hit him up probably a couple weeks ago, and we were talking, and this is how he summed it up to me. He was like, same way you know how to work, just get a normal job, do your school thing, coach. He's like, that's normal to you. He said, normal to me is going to the block and selling dope. He said, that's my normal. He said, he said it doesn't feel normal to him to go work a 9-to-5 job. It feels completely out of place in his world.
That's a habit. You gotta break them habits.
I know. I said, if you don't want to be in this motherfucker, you got to break that habit. But
yeah, they tell you that too, though. You gotta break old habits to start doing something new. Like that's why they got like, I don't know how they do in other states and shit like that. They ain't got too many in my state or my city for real, but they got reentry programs and shit like that. And that's why this shit that I'm doing is gonna help that too. But they ain't got too much out here for that.
Indiana reentry program is garbage, bro. It ain't no reentry whatsoever. And then half the time they be trying to find ways not to send somebody into reentry. They just want them to hit their release date and just leave that
push
motherfucker.
them out.
Yeah, they don't even want them, even though the reentry program is trash, they trying to find ways so you don't have to be in it. So it's like,
yes, I know here, like they got I forgot what that shit called, but when you get out of jail, like you ain't even gotta be in jail to do it, but is this program to help you learn that type of shit, how to start building your resumes and looking for jobs and how to be professional on interviews and all that, and break those old habits. And you ain't necessarily gotta be coming out of jail and all that. You could get in the program regardless, but it's just not too many of them.
And I tell people, because this is my way of relating with them, with the dudes. I said, I'm not going to really have much in common with a lot of these dudes, right? But my number one way of relating with them is shit through basketball. Because when we get on the court, we talk shit the same, right? We going at each other like everything's equal on that basketball court. And when they see that you're not back, like there's a level of respect at least gained there, no matter who you are, right? Black whatsoever. And I think once you find a way to relate to anybody, especially them, then they more receptive to anything you might have to say because you connected with them. But I think I be listening like some of these corny people on YouTube who be acting like they got messages for these dudes, and it's just like, bro, these dudes is tuning y'all out. They not trying to hear what you talking about because you got nothing to relate to them with whatsoever.
Talking about some shit he said on the back of a Hallmark card.
Man, but it's hopefully, man. Hopefully, what you do blow up, man. You gonna have to let me know once you get it jump started. I'll put the word out, man.
I definitely am,
man. Cause that ain't no joke when you sitting in that thing.
Yeah, basketball that should bring people together. That's how I made friends. Some of my first friends when I was little, playing basketball.
Yeah. People don't realize it's right in front of your face. The answers to this stuff be right in front of your face.
Right. So you definitely can reach some people doing that shit.
You make a living off it too.
Yeah.
Got to, man. But hey, y'all, that was a great convo. I ain't gonna lie. Salute to Sixers Daily for pulling up, man. You still going crazy on IG, Sixers Daily?
Yeah, bro. You've been running the account for 4 years.
Damn, man, you been grinding on motherfuckers. What you be going live on IG?
Nah, not really. I just post content, but I mean, I can though.
Have you got monetized on it yet?
Not like through Instagram officially, but like through promotions and all that.
Cause I keep trying to apply for monetization on IG, and they keep telling me I'm not eligible because I got to start going live on IG. So yeah. I'm like, man, that's like I'm already going live on all these other platforms. It's just like another hassle to have to go live over there. It's just like, damn.
You know what that is.
Man, but I'll have to see.
But, hey, appreciate you, Lamar. Yo, y'all brothers be safe, man.
All right, MLE, man. All right, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all check out Sixers Daily on IG, man. Sixers content, basketball content, man. He pulls up over here, man. Appreciate them dudes for pulling up, man. Another good show, y'all. Another good show, man. Great debates. Hold on. He says, I looked away for a second, but I know, man. I don't know what's going on with that. Dante Williams said, you be on Chris's corner trolling. Salute to Dante Williams for pulling up. Tyson Garcia, I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Appreciate you for being here. What else we got in the chat? I think Villain Youngboy, I hope I gave you your wrench, man. I hope I gave you your wrench because I told you I was going to give you one. I think I did, but I can't see from the StreamYard, so you got to let me know. What else we got here? But again, yeah, we're gonna be live on the other channel. We're gonna be live on whatever happened to the news TV tomorrow. We gotta talk about this another shooting in less than 10 days. 20 people dead, and you know, as much as nobody wants to talk about gun control, I mean, some level of gun control is gonna start to have to come into play. Because it don't look like this is gonna get better, and if gun control isn't the answer, then what is the answer? I was watching Fox News today, and the only thing Fox News was doing once again, Fox News was just sitting here crying and complaining about Democrats and Republicans, and the Democrats are gonna use this situation to push this, and it's just like everybody's just pointing fingers and crying about what the other side is gonna do. But no one ever actually does that, what they claim the other side is going to do. They just keep crying and complaining about it. And it's just like, when are the two sides going to come together and come up with something that's bipartisan, that's an actual solution? Because it's starting to get out of hand now. And whatever weapons they're allowing out, they're allowing people access to weapons that can kill massive amounts of people in a small amount of time. I mean, are we going to have to put legality limits on magazine sizes, the type of rounds you can buy? How lethal can the rounds be? You know, I mean, because 21 people without to just imagine the damage you can do. Like, with the understanding, I want y'all to think about this, and this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. With the understanding that one person can kill 20 civilians before any police presence is there. Imagine if an army of these people actually set forth to do these things, and you have 200 people in one day with the mindset going out that we're going to die today, but we feel like it's for a good cause. That could be a massive amount of casualties, right? With the police not being able to respond to all of those incidents at one time. And so when you think of it that way, and the way it's starting to look, it's looking like that could be a real possibility. Does some level of control need to be implemented, as much as everyone wants to love the Second Amendment? And I think that's something we're going to have to talk about. We're going to be talking about that on Whatever Happened to the News TV tomorrow, man. But hey, today has been a great show, man. I appreciate everybody pulling up. Steph Curry has been vilified and vindicated, because the man definitely deserves to be in the top 10 all time, or at least have major consideration to be up there. It's not fair to not at least consider it based on some of the things he's done in his career. But yeah, y'all, it's been a great show, man. Appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Whatever happened to the news TV tomorrow, make sure you guys go over to that channel. Actually, I'll drop the link in the description of the video, but that's all you got to type in. Whatever happened to the news TV, just head over there. Hold on. Whips with Rich says in New Jersey, gun law like that. What do you mean? I'm just saying, look, I'm not even one to push for gun control, but what I'm saying is, because the problem with gun control, it seems like all of the states that push for gun control, those cities and states generally seem to get more violent. Right? And it seems like they have more problems with guns than anything. But the guns with less gun laws, like Texas, like it surprised me today to see that shooting was in Texas. Right? It's starting to get surprising. But, I mean, I honestly don't know, because I'm not hearing enough of the so-called politicians. I'm not hearing any politicians come up with any real solutions. I just hear the media and politicians simply complaining and pointing fingers at political parties. It's the only thing that's happening. He says magazine size is 10 rounds. Oh, so they got a magazine size. I don't know, man, because I mean, again, even if you have a magazine size limit, I mean, it don't take no time to change magazines. I mean, if you watch the video of the shooter in Buffalo, he had to change magazines. It took him, maybe 2 seconds to switch magazines. And he had a high-powered assault rifle with intent to kill. So, I mean, I don't even know if magazine limits will help. I feel like maybe they'll just do magazine limits just to make one side happy. Okay, we'll give you that knowing it won't do anything. That really don't change much. But then you also have to have the gun manufacturers, right? They'll lose a lot of money because they're going to end up having an overstock of high capacity magazines that they can't sell. So then they're going to give their pushback on it. So you're going to have the gun people. You're going to have the gun companies, the people who, the companies that are invested in this, they're not going to be too happy with a law like that. So that's why Whips It Rich, man. It's people like you. I'm going to put the link in. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the link in the channel, man. Make sure you sub up over there because it doesn't look like the politicians. It doesn't look like the politicians are going to take the time to actually come up with something. So maybe we need to figure something out, right? Because we know that they watch YouTube and steal half our ideas anyway. So maybe they'll watch YouTube. We know they watch because Fox News just blocked my Buffalo shooting video. So if they're watching to that degree, maybe they'll watch if we can come up with something ourselves that actually is realistic. I know taking away guns isn't realistic. So there's no sense of talking about completely taking away guns. That's not realistic. People are going to be too opposed to that. But what's control? How can you implement some level of control so people don't have this type of deadly firepower walking around? He says gun law in New Jersey like that already, and that's like I said. And you know what? Maybe in the cities that have some of these implementations, we can use them as small sample sizes as what works and what doesn't work. If magazine sizes don't work, then use New Jersey as an example why it doesn't work. But either way, we're not getting to no solutions. It's just everybody complaining. But it's FYF Sports, y'all. Another great podcast episode. Again, I appreciate everybody pulling up, man. Salute to everybody from Facebook and Twitch that watched today. Again, Twitch, we're about to be monetized over there, man. So I appreciate you guys really helping us out, man. This year got to be the change for FYF Sports, man. Really trying to find a partnership deal. Really trying to find a partnership TV company or a firm that we could really launch this show on. So again, it's still in trying to figure things out with Roku TV. Maybe that's the move. I don't know, but man, this YouTube thing it's not as lucrative as a lot of people believe it is. Definitely not as lucrative. So you always got to be looking. You got to force in where can you monetize this? Because I'm definitely not going to give up on the channel. All right, but it's FYF Sports, man. It's another great podcast episode. Salute to y'all, man. We're going to be back with more sports and news, but until then, it's FYF Sports. And we out, y'all.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch the cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real. They all know, shop don't close, working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show, couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck